Alright guys, welcome to FireCast episode 16 with my co-host DZ.
What's cracking?
ZXR, how you going in the chat? We're here with Holloway and Aussie Slangg. What's going on, boys?
Howdy, guys.
How's it going, fam?
Coming, fellas.
Unfortunately, we've been forced to go digital due to the state that, well, Sydney's in anyway. The rest of the world seems to be sort of getting better slowly, but we're still kind of fucked down here. So I guess my first question I want to ask will go for all of us. I'll go first, and then we'll just go Aussie, DZ, Holloway. We'll just stay in like that little circle. How do you guys think that, well, for us in New South Wales, how COVID is affecting people's creative process? So how do you think people are going about, especially if you're a creative person, like me personally, not going to lie, I'm doing pretty good. Like, I'm still creating, I'm making more music than ever. It hasn't really affected me, you know what I mean? But there's people out there who aren't going to be able to do that. So, Oz, especially being a streamer, you don't make music. You still make content. How's COVID affected you and your creative process?
For me personally, it hasn't really, like, being in lockdown hasn't really affected me massively. Like, if anything, it's actually made me want to stream more, because when none of this stuff was happening, I was doing uni and work placement. So I was being a therapist and doing uni, and then when I was on my days off, I'd stream and then go to work. So for me, it's opened like the gates a little bit for coming back, because I was losing viewers and I was losing a lot of stuff. I was even being a bit inactive in my own Discord. I mean, even Shade Killer and Casanova had bigger levels than me in my own damn server. My mods, you know, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So it hasn't affected me massively, but my creative potential, I'd say, as well, has kind of been. I vibe off the people around me as well. This is why whenever I stream, I invite always try and get Brad in the headset. Dylan's came in before, you know, and you and I come in each other's channels.
They were fun, man. They used to be fun when we were doing that.
Yeah, it used to be hectic. Used to play games in my Discord.
Playing Fall Guys.
That's mad.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was awesome. It was a good time. Yeah, so, and I vibe off that. So
okay.
I need that. That's the only thing I miss.
By the way, too, people who come in and follow and stuff, we appreciate it. Thank you. I just don't want to interrupt people with always talking to the chat. So we do appreciate anyone who comes in. Hey Odyssey, we see you there. ZXR, thank you. ALOT for the follow and stuff. But yeah, I don't want to sort of
people, damn.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin the vibes. So if you do follow and we don't answer, we're not being rude. We do appreciate it. We're just like another one, Noel Simp. Thank you for the follow. We appreciate all the love, guys.
Well, baby.
All right, so we'll go to DZ. Yeah, so you think your creative process, because like we're making a fucking album, bro. So like, it's fine. Yeah, we're fucking locked down, but COVID, like, I couldn't give a fuck about COVID. It's not affecting me. If any, I'm making more music than fucking. I've got music fucking falling out my ass, man. Like, you know what I mean? We're making a fucking album. We've got massive features. Holloway sent me, I think, 3 beats a day this week.
I'm killing it, bro.
You know what I mean? So,
this man is mad.
How's your writing, DZ? Has COVID really affected it? Because I'm flying, bro.
I'm the same as you, bro. Like, I mean, in every bad situation, you got to find the good, man, the silver lining. And as a creative person, it does give you a lot of extra free time that you might not always have. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still working. I never worked in the first place. But just in terms of being at home with nothing much else to focus on, and, you know, everyone else is at home too, like, it just, I don't know, I feel like I've had more time, you know?
Yeah.
Put all this music
100%.
out.
So what about you, Holloway? Because I know you've got some more gear, and like I said, you've been messaging me fucking 3-4 beats a day.
Right, yeah. I've been fucking pumping it out, lady. Only because of all this free time. It's so good having this free time. I was working so much, and now the lockdown, literally, and Dylan was saying like everyone's at home as well. It makes it way better. It's like if you're the only, say you got a sick day or something, and you got all this extra time to focus, it's a bit different than lockdown, because you have a sick day and you're working on all this shit. You can't express it with no one else because they're all at work all the time, and you're like,
exactly.
but when everyone's at home,
I
it's like,
agree with that.
like a mad fucking. I like it. I reckon it's fun. I don't mind the lockdown. I think it's alright.
Yeah. See, I agree, but and to people out there too, don't take it the wrong way. Like, there's people obviously being affected in a real bad way because of
yeah.
this. Like,
Oh,
you
hell
know what I
yeah,
mean?
man.
We don't mean it in a way that like, yeah, fuck yeah, COVID. I hope we're in lockdown forever. Because, bro, there's people who have lost their lives. There's people who are sick. There's people who are in hospital. There's people whose grandparents are dying and they can't go to the fucking funeral and shit. I think that's fucked up. But what we're saying is it gives a creative person a lot of time, like Holloway said, that you don't have if you've got to work, right? So that's where all this time comes to. So for people like Aussie to stream and gain more followers and make a community basically, out of nothing, because even our numbers are still small. Just at the start of the year, most of our numbers were like 0. You know what I mean? I started with obviously 0 Twitch followers, and in under 2 months of streaming with the help of the Aussie space and in that community, I'm almost already at 100, man. So I feel like the creative process for me has been really flowing, and like I said, not in a mean or bad way, because people are getting fucked up in COVID. So
I mean, they made good points in the chat that they're saying for school. Like, I'm so glad I'm not at school during this, because like it'd be the worst, I reckon. Like, it's ruining the HSC. Like, people can't study. Imagine, like, it must be so confusing as well, being like, all right, we're online now for 2 weeks, go to school, and then again, like, they keep going back and forth.
yeah, that's another fuck. Yeah, I didn't think of the school outside of it too,
Like,
man. Like,
that must suck.
not gonna
That's
lie,
cool,
I didn't really go to school, so it probably wouldn't affect me either.
Hey.
But for you people out there, man, that really, that really would suck. So, what do you guys? Same thing. We'll just go around in a circle. How do you guys think we then come out of this? Do we come out of this back completely to normal? I think we're gonna be like this for a long time.
Hell
man.
no. Hell no. There is no back to
I
normal.
I don't think it'll ever be normal ever again.
Ever again,
No,
eh?
never.
Okay, so
No,
there's-
You're not
never.
vaccinated, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's going to be the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated. It'll
Yeah,
be like segregation in the olden times, bro. They'll have pubs for vaccinated people and they'll have pubs for unvaxxed.
It'll be the
Yeah.
Protestant and the
It's gonna
Catholics
be
again,
fun.
bro.
Mhm.
It'll be like that. Like what happened in the UK. It'll be the Protestants versus the Catholics again.
Yeah. Okay, so see, here's another interesting question I got for everyone, right? So now let's just say we're in lockdown for the rest of the year, right? And say we get to around December, and let's just, imagine we've all blown up. The music's fucking popping off. Aussie, you're streaming to thousands of people. You're making $600 a day from your streams. You know what I mean? Me and Dylan are making bloody money off our Spotify. Holloway's got songs popping. I'm streaming with hundreds of viewers making money. When do you decide, okay, this is my new job, I'm not going back to work? When is that? Because at some point, if we keep going the way we're going, each and every one of us are going to have to sit down and have that thought and think about what's my next step. I'm already thinking about that shit now. I'm not even making money off this shit.
Why? This is my last job,
True.
bro.
Yeah.
Once I leave, I'm not getting another job.
Yeah.
I can fucking
So
do it.
Aussie, what
That's mad.
point is it for you that you hit where you go, you know what? I love the whole psychology. Like, would you still do psychology on the side, or do you think you're gonna one day go, nah, I want to do this whole stream thing full time? What do you
I
think?
mean, for me, bro, I love streaming. For me, it's like an outlet where I can not only be myself, I can also supply a safe space, because there's a lot of people who are like me who don't express themselves, like they come in like, bro, I've seen this happen on Bleach, just come in, man. I appreciate people like that who have similar interests to me.
Hell
And
yeah.
I will supply that safe space. That's what a therapist does too, But when it's hard, man, because I would, if I ever got to the point where I was getting thousands of like viewers at once on one stream, and then that was happening congruently and reoccurringly, I would probably take it. But I would also probably, maybe even doing some top volunteering in that.
Oh yeah, volunteering would be good
counseling, maybe.
if you really
Yeah,
like
just for me,
Mhm.
because you're making the money, man. As long as I can get my own, I'm not gonna say greedy, but I'm not a needy man. I don't need to have the house, the investment properties, the cars. I will happily be happy with one car, one house, all the stuff I want and need, right? And my wants are very minuscule. As long as I have that, and I have like my friends, especially, like that's why I was saying before. I miss talking to Dylan. I miss talking to Brad, like in person, dude. And because it's that connection,
Yeah,
and as long as I have that in my world and my reality, then I will be the happiest man on the planet. And as long as the viewers in my stream are awesome and happy too, then I do not care. That's what I supply. That's what I preach.
It's in your nature for a psychologist, no, to make people feel safe. Because I was thinking about this too. There's a lot of kids out there too that they look for streamers because you don't know someone. They could have a shit home life. They could have abusive parents. They could have maybe no parents. So they look for streamers and communities where they feel like they're at home. And I think that's what you provide very well, because like your boys, shout out to those weebs, the Aussie Space. I can see you in the chat, man. What's going on, everyone? They're loyal,
Thanks,
bro.
guys,
you know
for coming.
What I mean? Like they're loyal. Not just
that. Actually made me really happy. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I posted a picture. My streams is like 27% your viewers, and we've just come together to make this cool,
that's awesome,
fucked
mate.
up, weird community. So shout out, man. That shit's fucking fire, bro.
Yeah.
So what about you, DZ? At what point do you sit down and go, I'm not fucking packing no more shelves, bro. I'm doing this every day. I know we could,
bro.
Nah.
Yeah.
I got an opportunity to leave my work, right, and to be paid out. It's just how the cards have fallen, all right. I work in a department that they're kind of, making redundant. So, option for me there is I can leave this job. That doesn't happen until like September, October, I think. And after that, I've already planned. I'm not getting another job. I'm not getting another job, man. I'll find a way. I'll always be taken care of, even if the music's not enough to sustain myself. There's other avenues, bro, and I'm not gonna work for the man. No more, bro. Especially now, they'll probably make me get vaxxed soon or something. And fuck it, bro. I'll find my own way. If I need to provide for myself, I will. There's avenue everywhere. I got a lot of crypto. I'm doing good, man. Put my shit online. I'll be sweet. So after this job, no more.
Okay. Holloway, what about you? Because, let's just say, best case scenario, you upload a song. Say this collab with the game blows up, and we all make, I don't know, example, 100 grand in the bank. Like, what's the? When do you go? Because you've got the gear. You've got the gear.
Wait, were you talking 100 grand each?
Each. Let's just say.
Oh, fuck, bro. I'm done. I'll never work for no one again after that.
And what? And then you
100 grand. 100 grand can change your life if you know what to spend it on.
100%.
If you're not an idiot, then
Easily.
Then 100 grand can set you up, especially with the stuff we're trying to do as well. Like, getting that feature with the game. Everything costs money. We're making 100 grand off that. Imagine all the names we could get as well, and increase that and make more money.
Yep.
All like investments within music, and no, I would definitely quit after that if that happened. But I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen first time. But who knows? It's happened for other people. It's happened. It has happened for other people.
Yeah, it has happened, man. It has happened. Yeah, crypto ZX. I agree there. Crypto is looking like it's going to be the future and stuff like that. We've got a question. A question too from Shadekill in the chat. He says, "Sorry guys, I have to look at my phone because my chat on my OBS is actually not loading, which is kind of weird, champs. So I might be a bit lagged out on the questions." He says, "What's your guys' stance on the vax?"
Don't get me started.
Look,
I will say this, right? You can believe what you want to believe, but I hope people are doing research and are knowing what they're putting into their body and know how the vax works before you're getting it. Don't just blindly go, I'll get it because, yada, yada, yada. Do your own research. It's more important now than ever. Everyone's got a supercomputer in your pocket. You shouldn't be uneducated on anything. That's all I'm going to say. Get it if you want. It's good that we have vaccines and options for people now, and we can kind of start getting something. I see this going down a dark path, man, and it's just going to make the division even more spread. So remember to keep the love, do your own research. Don't get offended at other people's opinions, because it's just their opinion. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, do what you think is right.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Look. I wasn't all for the vax, right? Just same thing, because...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes years to make this kind of shit in laboratories, and in 2 months, all of a sudden, we've got this fucking vax. It's not like it's been proven. It's not ready. So we're all guinea pigging it. We're being forced to guinea pig it. I wasn't going to get it. Though what happened was my work then come across and go, oh, there's no work unless you got the vax. I get vaccinated. I get vaccinated against my own will, and I've still got no work, motherfucker. I'm sitting right here. I was like, be at work. So I feel like I literally got gypped. Like I literally got gypped by people that
Got
you're supposed to trust. You're supposed to trust your employer.
Yeah.
I got gypped. Why make
Good times,
everyone?
man.
Why make everyone get vaxxed if you know there's no work? It was kind of like a just in case. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like I'm not for it, but I'm also not against people getting it.
Of course.
Either way, I would have got it to go to the pub. Like I'm not gonna bullshit.
100%.
Oh,
100%,
fucking
bro.
Yeah.
I would do.
Yeah, no,
I
bro.
know, man.
I miss that.
What about you?
Because I'm the same as well. Like
You got sick though, didn't you?
I've had the AstraZeneca. Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. Like,
Oh fuck,
bro,
See?
I got like whacked for 2 days
Oh my
because of
god.
that. Because of the first shot of AstraZeneca. I came home. The first day I was fine. I was even talking to Brad, man. Like on PlayStation, I was fine, and then I got to bed, and I was like, oh, here we go. Because I knew, and I think I said this to you, Brad. Do you know when you know you're gonna get sick?
Yeah, you can feel it in you.
Feeling.
You feel it in you. You feel it's coming.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I got to bed, and I was like, maybe it's just me.
Oh, no.
Cold sweats.
So you full felt it
Nausea,
coming.
and I said, yeah, cold sweats, nausea, and I had my wisdom tooth pulled out right 2 weeks ago, and the hit back from the morphine they gave me the mother of all headaches. This was the mother of that mother
Oh my god.
of all headaches. It was freaking crazy, bro. And I was like, Jesus, I couldn't sleep. I had like 1 hour sleep,
Wow.
and was just in bed the rest of the day. The next day,
yeah.
and it only just came good the day after. Like just started coming good. And I was
Okay.
like, bro, this is what it's like having the vaccine. Kind of made me think, holy shit.
Yeah, man.
How I haven't seen. The thing is though, which I don't like is like, I don't know. I don't take anything at face value until something happens in my immediate brethren, you know.
Mhm.
But then Pierce had his mate, you know, get the virus, and I'm like, oh shit, that's a bit close. Now I know someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I-
Yep.
So let's
Yeah.
go here, you know, and it's just like shit.
Mm.
So it's a bit.
What about you,
crazy.
Holloway? Are you vaxxed or are you surely for the pub?
Nah. Yeah, I'm getting vaxxed next week.
Mm.
Only because of work as well. I'm the exact same. I'm basically forced to do it, and with
They shouldn't do that,
having,
man.
you know, I'm getting those payments and stuff from the government, which is fucking helping so much, being able to stay home and stuff. And it's mad because it feels like you're just getting paid to do what you actually love doing.
Yeah.
But it's like a little taste for it. But
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
fuck you.
but yeah, after this lockdown ends, you know, those payments are going to stop, and especially me, you know, I've got a little one, and my missus too, who's not really working. She has to, you know, stay at home and take care of her.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's a bit of a different situation. I kind of need to go to work. I don't really have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah. But my work was the same. This new job I've got, they said the same. I can't work without
Without the vax.
getting vaccinated now. Yeah. So I was the same. I was not going to get it either. But
Yeah.
that's it. I don't have a choice. I literally don't have a choice. I have to get it if I want to work. Like that's how it is.
Yeah. Even some.
But if it was up to me, I would not be getting it. No way.
What I think is what people should know is that I don't like how they're advertising it as a normal vaccine when it's an mRNA vaccine. So a normal vaccine like the flu or hepatitis that you get or all that other shit. Usually, I think vaccines, I'm not an expert, so don't quote me, but usually vaccines, they give you a little bit, like they inject a tiny bit of the actual virus in you, so then your
just
immune
fights it,
system
doesn't it?
knows
Yeah.
But with COVID, it's an mRNA vaccine. So what they're doing is they're making your DNA think it's coronavirus by you know picking up the spike proteins that it produces.
Okay. Yeah. That's
So
fucked up.
instead of giving you a little bit, they're literally changing your DNA to make it a certain way to
Yeah, that's fucked
recognize
up.
the spike proteins.
I don't
So,
like that at all.
you know that.
I don't like that at all.
Do your research. Do your research.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's fucked up. I'm sure. Yeah. Look, I'm sure we'll come back to COVID and stuff anyway. There'll be a lot of questions to do with that. People in the chat too were saying they were sick, headaches and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
fucked
man.
up.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah. But let's
Take the week off, Brad.
I wanna bring
Take a
it
couple
back.
of days at least.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I want to bring it back to the music for a second. So how do you guys think, particularly now COVID also affected not just our music, but music from the West? Because, man, Easy Locks just dropped the fucking album. That shit was fucking fire. Man, I was bumping that shit all day yesterday. I did a live review on that shit, man. I had a Blunk Boy in the chat. It was popping off. So how do you guys think, because personally, we talk about this all the time, man, but I think at the moment, the West, man, we're fucking killing it, bro, and we're not getting any light. Like, we are fucking... The West, bro, like, yeah, we all know that the Islanders started it with the drill and stuff, but that's just a drill. That's just one niche thing. I feel like what we're doing and Izzy Locks and the Blunk Boys and all that, we're making a
American
whole.
hip hop.
We're making
It's American hip hop.
We're making hip hop. So how do you think that that's working out for us at the moment too? Like just generally music from the West. I think it's fucking. I think it's crazy at the moment, man. I think it's fucking crazy. What do you reckon, DZ?
There's 100%. There's what's good too is there's a lot of variety as well, man. People are singing, people are rapping. You know what I mean? Like Australia has evolved so much in terms of music in the past 5 years. I mean, we got a mad scene. It's like the American scene. Like I'm comparing it. It's like our Australianized take on what they do over there in the US, and it's just growing and growing and growing. And soon, man, we got the UK love us too. The UK love us down here as well. They love Aussie rap. They love chilling it. They love all that shit. Like it's popping off, man.
How about you, Aussie? Do you listen to much? You listen to much music from around here, or you'd just be associated because of us, eh?
Yeah, well, I listen to I like listening to some of your music guys, but for me, I'm more of like a metalhead. I'm very alternative. I listen to Falling in Reverse. It amazed me when Dylan came over to my house last, and I don't know if you remember this, Dylan, but he was playing some Falling in Reverse music. And I just looked at him and went, yeah,
Mad song.
I'm 15 again. Dylan, where were you when I was 15? Why couldn't we vibe? Why the fuck? I say it to myself every time I'm with Dylan. I'm like, why? Why couldn't I have met him when I was younger, bro?
Yeah, I know. We're the best friends, man.
But yeah, and because I could just imagine you, because I met Brad with Cooper like ages ago, and it was like crazy. But in terms of like music, I love, like, for me, it's like I vibe with metal a lot because I know for me there's a lot of anger and that, you know, not in me, but like, you know, that I deal with is primarily one of the emotions that I don't struggle with, but I feel like some of the times, you know, and I love just venting and just being like, fuck yeah. Bro, have you ever seen me on a night out with Brad, like Brad and Dylan can see this? I just fucking headbang, and my neck's gonna get whacked out one night. I'm just going, yeah, I'm just like that. That's what, and they can speak for it because they see me at Hillside when I was doing it. Like it was this crazy night. So for me, it's just like if you can tap the emotion or something that's real, my body will just, like, I will turn into the epileptic octopus and just start going like crazy, you know?
Yeah.
That's my boogieing. That's me, you know, and I don't care. And that's what music is for me. It's an outlet for energy. And the reason I love being like with you guys, and I love listening to Dylan, and even listening to Brad sent me some stuff right the other day, and I was listening to it, and he told me the context of it, but he didn't even need to, man. I was walking with him on that journey as I went through the lyrics and beat with him, and that, like, when my sister listened to it too, she was like, oh, that's kind of sad. What was that about? And I told her, and she went, oh, you know, does that hit you as well? And I was like, yeah, because Brad and I were in similar situations. And I was like, holy shit. Because if you have a musician or an artist who can do that to you, bro, holy fuck, you will be there. You will see it, and you'll be like, oh my God, Holloway just dropped a fucking new song. Discord, fucking, you know, it's that shit, man. And that's what I love, the intimacy of it, even though it's not really that intimate.
I feel like Holloway too, you've got that advantage too, because you can sing very well. That is very that's like a secret weapon in its own, brother. Like
yeah,
like,
bro, no one knows about that. Seriously.
Yeah, they do now.
No one. No, they're gonna know. They're gonna know.
They're gonna know.
Definitely.
But I think. So what do you think, Holloway, of music from the West, bro? Because cause you're still very fresh on the scene. Like you haven't got your proper single out yet. Are you working on that, or are you still sort of fucking around for a bit? Like, what's your vibe with that?
Well, you've heard the shit I've been working on. That stuff, you know, it was meant to just be just like for fun, basically. Just like for my own personal use. But then, you know, Dylan got me thinking, and then I thought it was so easy, like, to make that first song. It was so easy. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but fuck, it was so easy, bro. It took no effort.
Because the thing about you, Holloway, is that you have been doing music for longer than either of us. Brad, you were in high school with the guitar. You knew you were singing for a long time. It's only just now that we've given you the gear and stuff.
It's more the technology
so that's
side.
why you're picking it up so quick, because you already know. You already know.
So, that's what it is.
So it was always a bit of fun. Yeah. Like, so you were that kid with the guitar
always.
at school. There's always that one kid with the guitar in each grade.
We always had the guitar.
That was me.
Okay.
That was me. Yeah. So it's all that. all that fucking music theory, I suppose, it has helped because I will understand it all already before I go on this technology stuff. That's the hard part, all this fucking computer shit.
All the
Yeah.
fucking
But yeah,
crap.
when I
Yeah.
started recording all this stuff, and Dylan had me thinking, and I sent you that other song that I started working on. I haven't thought of the lyrics yet, but I got that melody down.
Yeah.
And like I'm thinking, you know, it's been not even a week that I've really started trying to do this.
Yeah.
And I've already got 2 almost like finished song ideas already, like in a week.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, you know, I put 2 months time into it. You know, well, what's to say I have 10 songs now, you know, just saved up in my bank on my computer. And Dylan's like, you know, why don't you should make an album? So now I'm
That's
pretty
awesome.
sure that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm just gonna keep banking up these songs. I want to get a few songs together. That song that we made, Swan Lake, and you couldn't figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna take that song. Me and Dylan are gonna make that, you know, a song for my album now as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's all like, yeah, it's all fucking coming together now.
We'll do like a nice
Together.
debut.
Oh, I could.
TJM Holloway debut album. I think it'd be
Yeah,
cool,
it'll be
man.
mad. I reckon
Oh,
it'll be mad.
Mate, you'd get a lot of what's the word? Like a lot of light on the album. I know, and it'll be a very successful
awesome.
first album because just because we know so many, and because now that me and DZ are doing the music pretty heavily, and everyone knows we're fucking good at it too. It's not like we're not fucking around anymore, bro. People know we're at that point now. People are like, okay, oh fuck, these cunts can fucking do this shit.
DZ.
Yeah.
25!
So I think your album will be a very successful first album, bro. It'll probably have a lot
Yeah,
more
I hope
success
so.
than mine and Dylan's first album.
That's
to
what
be
I
honest,
said. I said the
because
same thing to him.
I hope so, man.
It's gonna be
we,
big.
we
so.
were doing
Look
this
at the
shit.
games in it. How's it not going to be big?
No, that's Dylan's one.
Yeah.
But Cass is like, link the song.
Link the song. Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's very fucking interesting because I know a lot of people actually do that too. I'm pretty sure Moby's a big fan of that too, where he just sketches out an idea super quick, doesn't think too much about it, and then moves on. Does the next thing, does the next thing, does the next thing, and then he comes back to it a few weeks later and he goes, oh fuck, I've got 3 potential songs here. And then you can work from that. See, I personally don't work like that. I like sort of starting and finishing because I know if I don't finish what I started, I'm probably not going to go back to it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I feel like Holloway and Moby have very, very similar workflows in that aspect anyway. With the way that they just pump out, like sort of sketching out the idea. I used to do that when I first got into music. You sketch out the idea first, and then you go back to it. But I found I was never going back to it. So I started just sticking with something and then trying to get as much of it done as I could, really. So it's very interesting that Holloway sort of says it like that. Okay, and now so Aussie, now the whole Twitch thing. So like we probably talked about this a little bit in our last episode. So let's just let everyone know you started this. What was this? Is this just as it's definitely a side hustle or a side hobby? Did you ever expect to get it as big as this, or did you sort of always in the back of your mind go, "No, I'm gonna try to go for this," or was it always a bit of fun, and now you've got like a community? Like, how'd that happen?
Well, I didn't expect for the games I was playing to be like at least half decent. I don't consider myself like big because it's like, you know, but I do consider myself half decent. You know, like it makes me really not feel mad that my average viewing is like 11 now.
That's awesome.
When I was dropping off, it was like 7, and that's average too. Like you can peak me, and like sometimes I get 20, and I'm just like, what?
Hey, I've been in a stream where you've got like 22, and it was fucking. I was like, what the fuck, bro? This is crazy.
Well, the most I've ever had was 50, and that was no raids either. That was because I was doing a certain stream at a certain time. And I just 50 people were in there. I was like, holy shit, you know, that was crazy.
Shade Killer remembers the early days.
Yeah. Shade's one of my mods, but he's been there since literally not the beginning, but like the beginning of Fate when I started streaming that game, and I really appreciate that. It helped him in my Discord too. He's a very good kid. But yeah, no, I just appreciated how because it made me come out my shell too. I feel like as if I've definitely changed from it. You know, I've managed to. It's allowed me because the one thing I always lacked was communication, and I knew it was going to affect my ability to be a therapist. But then I did Twitch, and now I don't. I feel comfortable.
Really? So you reckon Twitch has helped you that much in your like interpersonal skills, like coming out your shell more?
It's hard because I knew especially with COVID, man, I didn't like virtual stuff, man.
I mean, either I hate
And I knew how toxic online could be. You've seen me in person. In person, I'm in control. I know what I'm like in person, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah.
My charisma comes out because I know I can, because I'm there completely full body. But it's also because of the anxiety of not being able to. I can read people very well, and that's one of the skills of being a psychologist. You have to, not assume, but pick up the nuances of what people put down, because some people do deflect. They do project.
Hell yeah.
They don't like being poked, which makes sense.
Very emotionally intelligent.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Even
you
sometimes I
understand
think in my own
people's
head. I
Okay,
try my
so
hardest.
I'm gonna ask you a very hard question, but like I said, you're the psychologist. I think you should be able to answer this. Why do you think, right, the boys in the chat, the Aussie space, why do you think they connected to specifically you rather than another streamer who's watching? Don't get me wrong, of course everyone watches, probably multiple streamers and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But why do you think they always come back to the Aussie space? What is it about you that helped you connect to these guys or these kids or these young adults? How do you think you connect with these?
Is that a serious question or what?
People...
Have a go at this guy, bro. He's like the most fucking kind-hearted bloke in the fucking world.
Yeah. No. But like, other than just being polite, because Holloway is right. Some streamers, there's some streamers chat. There's some streamers that there's too much shit going on. They can't. The chat is just going, and the streamer doesn't even talk to the chat. He's just playing the game at this point.
Yeah.
At some point, Oz, it's gonna get like that for you. So why do these kids come back to you? Why do you connect with these kids, and how are you then going to come back becoming so popular where your fucking chat's popping off? You might have to do a subscriber only chat or something like that. Like,
I'd never do that.
How's that going to
never
work
do
for
that.
you?
Subscriber only.
Because you know what I mean.
Well, I for me, like, I don't. When that happens, it happens. I don't know if it will or will not. Whatever. But it's when you come to like my streams, dude, like yesterday even, I'll give you this as an example. I got pissed off at Genshin yesterday. I was losing. I was getting angry. I went, fuck. So I don't give a shit. I'm not going to hide it. I'm just like, boom. And if someone get in the chat, like, they were all capping at me. And I was like, you know what? I'll take it. Because fuck it. I was, fuck it. What I want, I don't know if this is the reason, because I can't tell you. I'm not like a person which is my streams, what I want, what I try to put on the table in my streams is conversation, because I love talking.
Yep.
And I also put on the table like the freedom to just, bro. I've been ripped into before by even my mods once, bro. And I was like, I was like sitting there going, I'm just getting like fed shit. But I went, you know what? Fuck it. It's a joke. It's like, as long like you can do that, it's a safe space. I'll get pissed off at the game. Fuck it. Like. Doesn't matter. So for me, I offering that, and if people come back and like that, then that is just one of the most humbling things ever, and it makes me feel very nice. And when you got people who are very overly compassionate, who are fucking, like Odyssey donating to me, and I know people donate to me too, and then you got freaking Brad bloody Holloway and you as well, and I've had like a whole bunch of other people too gift subs and subscribe, man. That's money, man, and that's a thing, like that it's extremely humbling, man, and it's. I can't explain it because I sit there sometimes like I don't, man. I appreciate it, but like in my mind, I'm like, my content isn't worth it. But that's in my head, But I'm like, fuck. And then I always tell Brad, I'm like, stop that shit. He's like, no, I love it. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, And then other people are like, I like it. I'm just like, fuck. Like, that is the one thing. Because there's sometimes too, like I've seen people as well, like get very egotistical. And even I've been fine with that a little bit, but that's other shit in my life, But being able to humble yourself with the compassion of others, it really reminds you that holy shit, okay, there's something. There's a connect, and I'm about connection, man. I'm about being able to forge it and maintain it and really love it, And as long as you can do that, in my personal opinion, which I think you can do, Iggy, especially when you get like bigger, you will be able to facilitate not only a safe space, but an entertaining and awesome dialogue. And that's what I try to do.
Okay, but that's interesting. Yeah, Shade says, you and Friendly Fire are the only two he watches, which is cool, man. It's cool to see that people are so, loyal to. It's cool, man. Like we both appreciate all that love. Yeah, appreciate all that love.
Humbling fam.
That is fucking sick, man. But Zed says, your thoughts on the Kanye and Drake beef? Are they beefing? Do you know about that, DZ?
I didn't hear that. Nah, I just know they're both dropping albums soon, about the same time. I didn't know they were beefing.
Apparently-
Kanye West is doing all the weird shit.
Yeah, but he always has been. Apparently,
He's too fucked up.
yeah.
Bro, how do I fucking yours and Jugsy's fucking camera just keeps loading and loading and loading? It's fucking throwing me off. How do I
Is
fix
it?
this shit?
You might just have
Well,
I think it might be
Who's in mine?
poor,
Who's in
poor
mine?
internet, bro.
Yours and Friendly's, bro. Is it just the
Oh.
internet?
I don't know. Everyone's working fine on mine and on the
Oh.
stream too. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stream
You
looks
just
alright.
got, it's your Android internet, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, it's,
Bro.
I'm not on my phone. You fucking
It doesn't
idiot.
matter if you own one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, see, something interesting too. Odyssey in the chat says, yeah, Aussie is that guy you can just relate and talk to and actually shows that he cares, and same with Friendly Fire, man. Thank you very much for that nice comment.
Right.
So, do you guys... That's another thing too, because like I said, I've said this so many times before, man. I joined like the biggest streamers I watch, man, and the chats are just like... How the
Weird.
fuck can you don't even... What's the point of it? Because you got these people who are just doing emotes and trying to ask questions, and the question's up for a millisecond and it's gone. That's how much motherfuckers are talking and spamming and trolling. And the guy who's streaming, or the woman who's streaming, it's getting to that point where they're just sitting there, like, on me. Oh, yep, he's cracked. Yep, on me, bro. Oh, yep, oh, got him. Oh my god, let me just play it up. Let me just play it up. I hate, like, what the fuck? And he's not even he's not even glancing at his chat anymore. So, like, what's the point? Like, surely that's gotten to the point where for them now, they're just getting paid now.
Yeah, they're just doing
Yeah.
it just straight for the cash.
DZ and Holloway,
Connection's been severed
right?
there.
I'll get your two opinion, because you guys don't stream. How the fuck do you combat that? How do you stop that? Because it's getting to the point like where I've unfollowed literally all the big streamers that when I first made a Twitch, everyone does it. You follow all the big streamers. Oh, fucking XQC, haha, and this kind to see sort of what's going on. I've unfollowed them all because, one, I don't like the content. Two, a lot of them make me feel uncomfortable. And three, you can't even make friends or be a part of a community because the chat is just so
It's
toxic.
too big.
It's just too much. So we'll start with DZ. How would you combat that? Say if you were streaming, because it's fucking hard. I don't know how the fuck I'd do it, but how do you do that? Because
man. You don't. It is what it is. Like you got to try your best, and of course there are some streamers that are still humble with a big following who try to read the chat. Like I follow. Have you heard of Critical on YouTube? Zero.
no.
Anyway, he's huge. He's a funny ass dude. He streams every day. I don't watch his streams, but I watch his YouTube a lot. And he is the most humble guy. He used to give all his YouTube money to charity and shit. So when he's streaming, he's got heaps of viewers.
Yeah.
But he still tries to engage and read with everyone. So, you know, even though if it's going so crazy, you got to try your best to try acknowledge, you know, what you can see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't just be so absorbed into your game because people are watching you for a reason. You know what I mean? They like your personality, so you got to maintain that.
What about you, Jug?
You just
How
gotta try
do
your
you?
best.
Yeah. I think the exact same. Like, I think it's the same. You got to look at it the same as like when people get famous as well, not just streamers. You know, people get famous too. So people got to start somewhere. You know, Dylan's making music that he puts out.
Oh.
He can reply to every single person at the moment.
Yeah.
He can, you know, but when someone blows up, you know, say like, and I always reference him because I love the Kid Leroy. Right? I love him. Him, for example, bro. Like he could talk to everyone, talk to all his fans, but after you blow up, you know, I'm sure he's still humble. He's still a nice kid, but he just has so much going on that you just can't do that anymore. And it's hard to put. You have to try and put yourself in their shoes as well. Like those streamers, you know, they have so many fans, if that's what you call them, you know, community. That what can you do? Like it's not their fault that their chat's going crazy. Like they can't do anything about that. They can't do anything about it. And just to sit there and be able to go through thousands and thousands and thousands of comments a second, it's not possible. And it makes them look like an asshole because they're ignoring them. But really, if you put yourself in their shoes, like what can you do? Are you really going to sit there and try and read 1,000 comments and try and play the game as well. Because some people in the comments are just watching the gameplay. Some people just like the gameplay.
Yeah.
You know, and imagine now the stream that you've liked, you've liked the gameplay for, is just sitting there reading comments. You know, and now that wipes out. You can't please everyone. You can't please everyone. So those people are gone now. Those people will unfollow because he's not playing the game, and the other people will unfollow because he's only reading chats.
Yeah,
you know, you can't please everyone.
Yeah.
Always a devil's advocate, bro.
Man, I think I'd be fucked because Odyssey, one of my mods, he's from Aussie's community as well, but he's pointed this out many times to me before now, where I personally would rather talk to the chat, and it's got me killed so many times in the game. So and Odyssey said it one time we were playing the game, bro. Like I was like 1v4ing a squad, bro, and I'm killing these guys, and I get to the last guy, and I just stop, look at the chat, respond, and then I'm dead. And Odyssey's like, bruh, you sometimes just you talking to the chat gets you killed, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't mind it, bro. Like I'm in it for the community aspect. I'm not really in it. I don't even fucking like the games that much, bro. I'm just like, it's just a bit of fun on the side compared to the music, bro. Because my brain's constantly working on the albums and the songs and the this and the mixing and the mastering, bro. It's so much to do, bro. You know they've got mastering engineers, right? Is one job. Then you got mixing engineers is a separate job, and then you got beat makers, separate job, producers, separate jobs. Big artists pay 4 different people, and I'm doing all this in one fucking day. So the games for me is kind of like a release and talking to the chat and having a laugh and fucking around. So, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be fucked when I blow up because I reckon I'll just be that cunt just reading the chat, bro. I'll be that weird cunt doing the just chatting streams. I'll be doing fucking ASMR like this, bro. I'll be fucking looking up my mic like that. And just
well, that's why you have Discord. Like that's why you do Discord and shit.
Right now. Yeah. It's gonna be funny when we get to that stage.
Yeah, Discord, Iggy. When you get 100, bro, which you're very close to, I think the Discord will be a good thing for you, bro.
Yeah, fuck
I
yeah.
think so, bro. You could do all the talking in the Discord, and then the streams for just actually playing the game, I guess. But
yeah.
Now I want to ask Aussie too. Let's change the pace a little bit. This is a question I think you asked for our Sally podcast, which I think was a fucking great question. I think it was something along the lines of how is the whole COVID situation impacting people's different spirituality or something like that.
Yeah.
So what was your answer on that question? Because I know Jugsy claims he's not spiritual, but I think deep down he is. I think he's just sort of pulling.
Yeah, it's in there.
I think this guy's pulling our dicks a little bit. But we'll start with you, Aussie. How do you think it's affecting the world? How's the world?
That is spiritual. I don't know if he's capping with views, but I think
I think deep down he reckons.
Maybe I just don't know the meaning of it, man. Maybe I don't understand.
He interprets it in a different way, maybe.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's all about interpretation and perspective, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like when you think about it, right? In the end of the day, spiritualism is a perspective of literally like because all right, before I even go there, what is human? And when you ask myself that question, right?
No,
what are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at, bro. It's a flesh vehicle, bro. That's what
yeah, exactly.
We're flesh vehicle for the soul.
Yeah, exactly, right. But what is being human being, right? So for me personally, the one thing that separates us from other organisms is the fact that unlike we have things like gravity and shit like that, but they already existed long before we gave them meaning, right? So the one thing about humans, unlike any other animal, right? Because we are animals at the end of the day, we have that part of the brain, is we're capable of meaning making in a perspective that is capable of understanding a lot of universal factors that no other organism so far that we've discovered can do. Again, but then you can bring aliens in the conversation and be like, holy shit, here you go, where is this there? But you know, it's that's when that happens. I'm not going to say if it's going to happen, or if or when, right? Whatever. I'm going to say both that, right? If or when, right? So, but what I was getting at before, currently, is shit. Because like for me personally, I in psychology, you have to do right because psychology is its own science. You guys know that,
yeah?
Of course.
So, but the one thing that's attached to it is spirituality. Like the fuck, and I'm a Catholic, and I'm a very spiritual person. That's why I like Bleach, the anime Bleach, so much. You know, it's about death gods and shit. And it's when I learned modalities such as mindfulness therapies, humanistic therapies, even behavioralism, talking about the psyche and the id, ego, and super ego, how that works and intertwines with in a spiritual context, made me realize, holy shit, it's actually not like it became very real.
Yeah.
To the point where it wasn't a construct of socialism or social ideologies or values. It became something that it literally attached to like a thing as important as the brain.
Yep.
Or understanding how the psyche, your consciousness, subconsciousness, how that works.
I get exactly what you're saying, bro. Spirituality is real, man. It is
Real.
real,
It's energy.
bro. And you feel it. Once you go down the path, you feel it. That's what really made me so spiritual, is you see this shit happen, man. A law of attraction, karma, repeating numbers. It gets way too much to be coincidence. And you feel it, and you feel changes, and that's what really
manifestation,
real,
too,
man.
bro.
It's fucking real, bro.
I wanna
I
feel it. It sounds fucking fun as.
Read some books, bro.
Yeah, well, Brad, like, you know, what's the one thing that I could ask you right now, right? What is the one thing that you love about your life right now?
So, shout out Mum. I didn't realize Mum was in here. Hey, Mother. #1 fan.
Man.
It's cracking, Mum.
There's too much. There's too much.
It's too much.
I mean, obviously, my daughter. Obviously, that's number one. That's obviously number one.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there's too much going on. I mean,
you're grateful. You're a grateful dude.
Yeah.
And you gotta be, man.
Yeah, I am. I feel like I am pretty grateful. I mean, obviously I didn't have the best fucking upbringing, but a lot of people use that as an excuse, and they spiral down a shit life. They have a shit life, and they blame it on a lot of stuff. But I think, I don't know.
So you don't think you're spiritual even just a little bit? Like, just deep down? I think you are, man.
I'm telling you, man.
Let me post this to you, Brad. Before you say anything else, like, you went straight for your daughter, right? And that is a connection of love. But that's the connection of love. Is that spiritual,
or is that just...
No, listen. This is what I'm going to get to. The meaning, and like every single conceptualization of love comes into a spiritual aspect when you really think about it, especially in mythologies. I just spoke really fast. Holy shit. My brain. Sorry. You look back in Indian, Aztec, Egyptian, Buddhism as well, even ancient Mesopotamian and Sumerian mythologies. Every single conceptualization of love had a god or goddess attached to it, right? And in Catholicism and other Western branches of Catholicism, I'll say, right? God is all loving and all knowing. So when you think about it in a human contextualization of love, they give that to that meaning-making kind of aspect. And if you think that you can just go, I look at it, and you just like, it's immediate love. That's what my mum tells me. I'm not a parent yet, but I look at you too, Brad, and you tell me that too. Like, look at this little
it's
you,
crazy,
right?
Man.
And it's energy, but isn't it? It's something like you just
you can't explain it. You cannot.
Chemical, spiritual, but like it's fucked, and I can't wait for that to happen to me. But I've seen it in you, and I've seen it in my mum. I've seen it in so many parents, and it is the connection of love in a higher than a spiritual aspect. It's different.
It's beyond human comprehension. It is true.
Exactly.
Love in its truest, purest form has no opposites, man. There's no hate. Yeah. There's no ulterior motives. It's just love, and that's what we all are. And it's within us, man. And you can find it. Yeah. And I can't wait till I can look at a little child, bro, and feel that, because I know it's something I've never felt before.
Oh yeah, it's coming, bro. Yeah. I mean, like Shade says, man, history was built on love and war, bro. That's a very good fucking.
Yeah. All religions say the same thing. They're just misinterpreted in many ways.
Yeah, exactly. There's different people trying to understand, and especially like, yeah, exactly. But like, especially with like the conceptualization. As I work in a drug and alcohol rehab, and you see hatred, like, and that's when, like, for me personally, with my spiritual experiences, I've seen, things that are capable of, like, I'm not going to call them whatever you want to call them, but you see very bad things, and they're not really, if they're human constructed, but they're not human, and I'm going to say that, and that's all I'm going to put to them. I'm not going to put a name like demon or evil god or whatever you want to call it, right? I'm not going to say that shit, right? But they exist in an ephemeral form, and they want something precious to you, and that's why I believe in the soul. But when you go into, when I see some of these clients, man, and the shit they say to me, about certain stuff, and you sit there and you go, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck, that's not normal. What do I do? And then you have to shut that down, that part of your ego, and go, fuck. And then they look at you, and when you look at someone like that, bro, you feel it. And that's why I try telling this someone the other day. I think Brett might have been there when I was on the PlayStation with this chick. I said that you see evil in a form that is controlling and manipulative. You know, not every human. You know, there's not one human on this planet born evil, bro.
I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Bad energy, bro.
No, hold on a second. Let me just counter that, right? Because you hear some crazy stories about serial killers and shit, right? And these motherfuckers, like, their parents are saying, like, bro, when this cunt was a kid, he was going out and fucking bashing the pet, or we found him killing squirrels and shit like that. I think you can. I think some people have been born in the past where there's shit missing. So it's kind of like a disability, right? There's shit missing in their brain that tells them, okay, for me to kill this animal or to torture this fucking squirrel. And it always starts with like something small, like a bug or an insect.
Always.
You know, every cunt picks up an ant and pulls the legs off and you giggle with your mates. But then there's always there's one guy that...
What?
You know what I mean?
What?
And then there's always that one guy who takes it the step further, and then he's gone and like I've read stories on serial killers in America, and they're killing cats and shit, and they're torturing kittens and puppies, and they're kids. Like this is
terrible.
This is no cap, bro. So I think you can be born evil, bro. It's like a disability, you know, like when a disabled person, it's just something in their brain and it's just not like fully developed. I think it's the same thing, but there's something in your brain for that person that tells them they think that what they're doing is normal, or they get enjoyment from like doing weird shit like that.
It turns into something like, okay, sorry, Dylan.
You go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Well, the only thing, I appreciate you saying that, Iggy, because what my answer to that is if you were doing that as kids, right? So what's the one thing like about children? Children don't know until they get told. So what happens when your development of your brain, or not your brain, sorry, your psychological development starts when you're obviously a child. I'm not going to go through all that psych shit. All I'm going to say is you don't build your identity, ego, or nor do you have a massive super ego, right? And your super ego is the age on your shoulder, and it's usually the last thing that gets developed, right? The id, which is the animalistic side of you, is the first thing you have, bro. It's why babies scream, because they don't understand how to talk yet. It's why all this shit happens, and as you go up and up and up, right? So when you get caught in a moment of development and something gets fucked up, like you are torturing an animal or you kill an animal, right? And you have this is where parenting is such a massive thing. It makes up 85% of psychological cases, and it is intergenerational trauma is the biggest thing on the planet that fucks everything, right? If you get a child at an early developmental stage, and a parent doesn't come in and do something about that, then that's when it starts happening. That's when you get the pain. Because if I've kicked a dog and just been like, ha ha ha, I kicked the fucking dog. Oh my god, what was that? And then you have a parent come in like, no, what are you doing? Love, you can't do that. That's the reason you can't do it. It's because of this. It's our pet connection. What it is, absence of meaningful connection. And they don't learn that. You don't learn that until you get older, until your super ego goes, holy shit, that's what that is. And then talks to your ego and be like, don't make that decision, that's wrong. You know? Because kids don't have that. Kids do naughty shit, bro. Yeah. When they're little. And the reason why is because they don't know better. You know? You gotta teach them. It's that kind of curriculum. So I still stick with what I said. I believe people aren't born evil, but the capacity to be a freaking to be psychotic, not psychotic, sorry. What's the word? What's a psychopath? There you go. To be a psychopath, man. Psychopaths and sociopaths are actually massive narcissists. Yeah. And and narcissism comes from a lack of connection. And you know a narcissist when they use I statements all the time, bro. Like fuck, it's crazy. Like you can just be like, holy shit.
Okay.
That's what that is. And then Yeah,
okay. Well, look, so speaking on that topic, Shade Killer asked in the chat, do you guys think that true evil and true good exist in the world? I think it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, you could dive down a whole nother rabbit hole of this type of shit, conspiracies and stuff like that, where I do believe that our governments are not the government, but the people above the government. I think they're the evil ones. They're the people they're the ones that everyone seems to forget about, because the first person every cunt the first person that Jimbo from the fucking cattle dog that's always there every night, he blames Gladys Berejiklian or Scott Morrison for this and that. Nah, mate. If you really think they're the ones running the show, you're a fool.
They're puppets.
Who's their boss? Who's his boss? Who's that guy's boss? It's a chain, bro. Every human is a chain of command, bro. And then there is some rich motherfucker, and you want to know what it all is, bro? It's all the bank owners. They're the bosses because they control the money. So they're the ones that tell this guy, and then he tells Scott Morrison, "Oh, I think you should fucking do this for this and that," and then he tells Gladys Berejiklian, "Oh, you should do this and that." And that. So the real people that are the fools are the ones that actually think the government is the one with the power, and I feel sorry for those people. Because, bro, everyone has a boss, bro, and unfortunately, in this world,
for long,
the kingfish are the bank owners. They're the ones.
The banks run the world, bro.
The banks are the ones that are in complete control, and if you don't believe that, I personally think you're a fool. Like, there's always those few people that think the government are this and that. Nah, mate. But who's telling them to do that? They don't do their own shit on their own free will. Fuck no. They've got fuck all power at the end of the day when it comes to the aspect of the world. They've got fuck all power. So I think that the people that are the bank owners and stuff, I think they're truly evil. Because I think money is one of the most, to me, in my opinion, money and religion is the root of all evil. And I don't want to be slack, like obviously there's religious people and stuff like that, and that's fair enough. I'm never going to ever bag someone for their religious beliefs, but I think religion and money, to me, that's the root of all evil. Because money controls everything, and then religion makes people do crazy shit. So that's my, I do think that exists, man. 100%. I know, DZ, you feel fucking similar.
Look, I'll tell you, true good is what we spoke about with the kids and things. That's true good, all right? And I think true evil absolutely exists. And going off what you were saying, Iggy, is that religion, I don't think, is necessarily evil in an individual's belief, right? If your mate is Christian and he believes in God for all the good, but the thing is, religion has been misinterpreted and used as a method of control and order for so long.
This is why I talk to you, Dylan.
Yeah, I get you, bro.
I'm looking up thinking, thank God.
Common sense, man. A lot of people lack it, but anyway.
You're right.
But it's just misconstrued and used as a form. So religion, in that sense of the churches and the order and this and that, that's evil for sure. And true evil, I think, can absolutely develop, man. I mean, there's negative energies. I never used to be paranormal, but I've experienced some things lately since becoming more spiritual. And you get more in tune to these negative energies and things. So I think, interdimensional evil and shit like that also exists.
That exists, man.
Holy fuck. But yeah, man, I think people like Hitler, obviously, all that shit, people who there's point of no return. I think that's also true evil. You know what I'm saying?
You've gone too far down the rabbit hole.
Okay, Holloway, what do you think?
I love to hear Brad.
Oh no.
See, Holloway is Jimbo from the cattle dog.
I am. No, I don't really. Man, I just don't really. I try to stay away from all that shit. I remember, everyone has that one thing that they remember from, like, they were like fucking 4 years old or something, maybe not that young. So it's like 6 years old or some shit, right? Yeah. And someone says something to you, and that sticks in your brain to this very fucking day. You remember the exact word that was said, and mine was from a teacher, my year 4 teacher or my year 3 teacher. And every morning we had a news segment, we'd go through the news and watch this fucking BTS thing. I don't know if you've done the same thing.
That's terrible. They shouldn't.
But we had this, so we had this one teacher who wouldn't put the news on. She refused to do it for our class.
Yeah.
And I asked her why, and I'm just a fucking little kid, man. I don't know fuck all. I just fucking learned to walk like 3 years prior. Anyway, so she said to me, she said, I said, why don't we watch the news here? And she said, ignorance is bliss. That's what she said to me. right?
Wow.
And I had no fucking idea what she just said, right?
Yeah,
I'm learning how to spell cat and dog, and she just said ignorance is bliss. You know,
Wow.
I have no idea what the fuck. I have no idea what the hell that
Wow.
means. So,
Wow.
That's
and when she said that, and she like sat me down, and she explained what it meant, right? And she said like, if you just don't bother with the news, do not listen to the news. She said she has never watched the news like since she was since she was very, very young. She said she never watched the news, and she's like way happier because of it. And ever since that, bro, I have never ever watched the news, and I don't give a fuck about what happens in the world. Seriously, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what's going on, bro. All this
That's
stuff
it,
with
bro.
Afghanistan that's going on. I know it's all fucking crazy shit. It's bad that's happening, but
Who cares? Like,
but in my head, like I couldn't care less, because if I didn't know about that, if the internet had never been fucking discovered, I wouldn't know about that. No one else would know about that.
Yeah.
So no one would be going fucking crazy. You know what I mean? So I just true good, true evil. I just don't give a fuck about true good or true evil. I just live my life every day. I try not to just fucking get involved in anything
Be
really.
happy. Choose to be
Yeah,
happy.
that's all,
That's
bro. I
spiritual
wake
shit,
up,
bro.
that's it. I
That's
wake
spiritual
up,
shit.
I see my fucking girlfriend that I love and my little one that I love, and that's all I need, bro. I don't need to fucking dibble dabble in fucking Afghanistan's business or Hitler's business, or I just live my life. That's
Yes,
it.
man. That's spiritual, bro.
So
That
there-
is exactly.
so there-
Maybe I am spiritual
There
then.
you
Maybe
go.
I
Yeah,
am.
man, in the power now, bro. That's
There-
that shit.
There we have it. Jugsy is a spiritual person. He just doesn't like admitting it.
Wait,
I know it, bro.
Ozzy, what do you think, mate? Surely. What do you think?
About what?
The
Sorry.
spirit,
Oh,
good, evil, and good.
Right.
Good, evil, and what the fuck?
No,
Oh,
good
yeah,
evil,
yeah.
true
Before,
good,
bro.
true good, and true
True
evil.
evil, true
no,
good.
Okay. No, sorry. I just thought you. I remember Brad was. Sorry, I thought we'll check the subject change.
I'm
Sorry.
cool.
What the fuck are we talking about? Are we talking about Afghanistan or what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I thought we were talking about. Sorry, I was like, Afghanistan got brought up. Right, no, in terms of, I truly, man, like, fuck, man, I don't know, man. I didn't want to go down the paranormal shit.
Yeah,
You know what? Fuck
fuck.
it. I'm just gonna.
I got something for you. I got something that before I forget, because let's fucking on the topic of conspiracies a little bit, but a little more lighthearted, bro. Have you heard about giants building the pyramids?
Ah, get fucked, man. Come on.
This guy.
Get this guy.
Yeah, bro.
All right, this
Yeah.
okay.
What you
DZ
doing,
is
bro?
yeah, mate. I believe in conspiracies, but I don't believe in fantasy stuff. That's
Bro.
why I love reading about it, because it's not real.
It's not fantasy,
Bro,
Bro,
There's no-
I've seen the drawing of the fucking pyramids. They all draw giant men and shit.
Yeah, and then giants.
I've
bro,
seen
you
that.
know,
Yeah, I've seen that. Now that you
It's in
say
the
it,
block,
now that
put
you
it
say it.
down.
Bro, it makes sense, bro. Like if there was an ancient race of giant humans, or maybe they even think it's what are they called? The fucking Anunnaki. Apparently, the Anunnaki created humans as miners for gold. Like the Anunnaki are a race of giant aliens that have been here for billions of years, and apparently they came to Earth for gold, but they didn't want to mine it themselves, so they created us to be gold mining slaves.
So you're telling me?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
You're telling me
Bro.
there's a billion-old fucking alien fucking whatever you call them race that are so advanced, right? But they can't mine gold.
Yeah.
They can't do that. They can't do that. They don't want to do that. If they wanted to, they'd be able to fucking do that like that.
Oh my
They
god.
can,
They're
but they
traveling
wouldn't want to.
through fucking dimensions like this fucking quick. They're that quick, but they can't mine gold. That's the one thing they can't do.
I mean,
It's a load of
Hold
shit.
on, man. Hold on. Okay, let's just do a vibe check real quick. Vibe check. Is everyone in the chat vibing? We've got a few people in the chat that actually agree with DZ. There's someone. Shade Killer says he's having a brain aneurysm. Like, so make sure everyone's vibing in here, bro. We all good. We all good. We're still vibing.
yeah, that QR gets me, bro.
That, man. Fuck, bro. Listen to me, man.
It
Right.
makes sense, bro.
Listen. Okay, so I read a lot, right? You probably all know that. I always upload Instagram pictures of my books and stuff like that. I've been reading last month in the year of fucking 2020, I was basically averaging at about a book a month. So I read about 12 11 novels last year, right? All of them were fantasy. And I love fantasy so much because to me, obviously, it's not real, but I love exploring that. Because think of it, fantasy, right? Okay, this giant thing that you just said, right? Some motherfucker, however long ago, come up with that. And even though
real, bro.
even though it's like even though it sounds crazy, someone was thinking that outside the box, whether he was off his guts on crack, whether he was writing a book, whether he was doing a YouTube video, whatever it was, some motherfuckers come up with that. So the human brain can really do this crazy shit where this guy is going, he's sat there and going, fuck, bro, giants come down from fucking Dimension 6 and they were called the fucking Aztec people. They've come down.
Freaking out, right?
And they've made people, whatever you're, like, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. The human brain is pretty crazy for someone to say that.
Have you seen the fucking moon, a solar eclipse, right? The moon eclipses the sun perfectly. It makes the distance of the moon from the sun makes a perfect fucking circle that the moon can cover the sun perfectly. That is an artificial orbit. The Earth is created, if you don't believe in a god at least or something, or aliens, something is greater than us because that moon lines up perfectly. So I don't think it's that far-fetched that there used to be a fucking ancient race of giant humans who built the pyramids, bro, because...
I believe.
But why would they do that? Why would they come and just build big fucking triangles for no reason? Why are they doing it?
The pyramids are lined up true north to the earth, and they're a harness for energy.
Yeah, that's trippy.
I've heard that.
They line
before,
up perfectly with the star signs and shit, bro. There's crazy shit in this world, man.
Hold on.
Yeah, there is.
Before I forget, right? Let's talk about this, right? I read an article about this fella. I can't remember the name for the life of me, right? I'm gonna have to Google it. But this guy's a pilot, and everyone's heard of the Bermuda Triangle. It's based between like Mexico and Florida or whatever, and apparently ships go missing and planes go missing, right? Well, this guy, he wrote a fucking book on it. He said he was doing a flight from Mexico to Florida. It's only about an hour and a half flight, right? So this bloke is one of those little like dodo seaplanes or whatever. And this motherfucker's, he's done the flight over 1,000 times, right? He's a full proper pilot, been flying planes for years. Anyway, it was him. I can't remember if he was by himself or with a passenger. They've begun their flight, and he said right as they're going over the area of the Bermuda Triangle, he said all of a sudden in front of his plane it just gets all like cloudy, but real bad cloudy to the point where he's gone. Usually, if you see this type of thick fog or cloud, pilots fly around it, or they fly over it, or whatever. He said it was upon him so quickly, he had no choice but to brace for impact, and fly through it. Right? So he's flying through this fog, and then he said he felt cold, and all the clouds and the fog turned black, almost like it was nighttime. And he was flying at like 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's all of a sudden turned to night. And he said the clouds have turned into a tunnel, and he was flying through this black tunnel. And then he said all his engine shit started failing. His engines cut out. His plane started falling. And as he's like falling out the other side of this cloud tunnel, he was already flying over Florida, and he had been flying for only about 15 minutes. So a 1 hour and a half flight turned into a 15-minute flight. And when he come out of the tunnel, all his plane, like the engine and shit, turned back on, and he was able to land the plane completely safe. But he had done the trip in 15 minutes, and it's usually about an hour and a half flight. Is that real?
No.
He wrote a book about it. He wrote a book.
So you're saying that's not real, but you say giant fucking men is real.
Well,
Why? That sounds way more real than fucking giant men.
No, I'm being a bit, I don't know, maybe it is real, I can't say for sure, but I know there's weird shit, bro. I mean, maybe he went through Bermuda Triangle seems a little too much, bro. Like, Bermuda Triangle seems like it's mystified, like they made it a thing, like... Yeah. But there's actually...
Like the Loch Ness Monster.
There's hieroglyphs in the
Messi exists, bro. Fuck you.
People in big stairs and shit. Like, there's evidence. Like, I see. Anyway, it could be true. Is that book fiction, or what? You said it was a book, right?
No. This bloke literally wrote a book on the experience because he wigged himself. He wigged himself out that bad that he wrote a fucking book on it and shit. There's like videos all over the internet on him and stuff like that. And this guy seems pretty genuine,
I'm gonna look this up.
Look it up. Look it up. I don't remember his name. Just type in pilot from Florida flies through Bermuda Triangle.
That's like
Yeah.
Have you heard the story of I think the last name's Bird. I can't remember the surname, but a pilot who was flying around the world or some shit, and he flew into the center of the Earth. Apparently, there's a civilization in the middle of the Earth.
Ah.
A secret city.
Like the
Apparently,
lizard
you've
people
seen
and-
it, bro. Like
Yeah.
in Antarctica, there's a hole to the middle of the Earth. And I don't know, Antarctica's pretty weird. If you Google Antarctica, there's some weird shit going on there, probably. But I don't know, man. Do you believe in conspiracies, Aussie? Because
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that, bro. What's your favorite conspiracy?
Yeah, I've been very quiet, haven't I?
he believes. I know he believes. I can see him smiling the whole
Oh,
time.
I mean, conspiracy theory wise, for me, as like I was gonna even ask you before about the existence of pure good and evil. I do believe in that. I do believe in God 110%.
Yep.
And through my interactions with other people, I believe in his ultimate enemy. You know, the enemy. I believe in that. But when it comes to conspiracy theory stuff, like, so this is the one thing that I took away. I can't remember who this dude's name was. He was a physicist, right? And he was like, he has an argument with another physicist, right? And this guy was a Hindu physicist and he was a Catholic physicist. And he's like, well, you're Hindu. Like, why do you not blah, 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 believe in this stuff? And he's like, I've just worked in the field for so long, man, you know, all this shit.
Yep.
And he's like, that all this stuff we find exists. Why is it here? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, bro, if you were a god, right, running Sims, right? If you were a person running Sims, sorry, on your PlayStation, you're basically a god running these fucking people in a semi-simulation, right? So the thing is, right, he's like, sorry.
Then I could go.
Yeah, like, fuck, I forgot what that. No, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm fine with what
no,
you
it's alright.
said.
No, shush, I'm here. Shut up. Let me do this. Fucking, I believe, right, if you were capable, because we are bound to 5 senses, bro. You gotta remember that, man.
Yeah,
That's fucking nothing, right? That is nothing,
There's more
right?
out
This is
there.
why, if you believe in that shit, like, yeah, if you have the seed to believe it, you're I'm not gonna say you're ignorant, right? I'm not gonna say that, but fuck, man, take into account a lot of different states your body goes through and the energy you're feeling too, right? Because that's a sixth sense of the human sixth sense, in my opinion, feeling. God, he explained this, is like, if you believe in God, you got to understand, creating something out of nothing is capable, but in human hands, to do through a fucking computer, right? And if you watch The Matrix and shit, they actually made that shit up and put it into a fucking
I
movie,
get
right?
exactly what you're saying.
So if you don't believe in an ephemeral, right, and an existence of an energy type of anything above, because there is always a higher consciousness or intelligence. I personally believe that, because how the fuck, like I was saying before, like you were saying, Dylan, about the moon, eclipsing the sun, right? And that is fucking, I've always thought about that too. That happens, you know, in other places, but like it doesn't happen as fucking exactly or complete eclipses, partial eclipses, like that. But to me, in how I interpret the creation story as well, is like, they're like the Garden of Eden, bro. It's somewhere on Earth, bro. This planet is the Garden of Eden. We haven't found another planet that can inhabit fucking life as complex as this one. And whether or not it's a time differentiate, like even if it comes into the constraints of time, there was one back in the day that isn't now. Only Earth is so currently, right? So, yeah, man, I do believe if God exists, I believe in God, right? But I believe he has an aspect of control over our universe where it's like you can type in fucking I can type in,
bro.
Hey, chat.
Let me say this,
Boom.
because I'm vibing
Like that,
so
you know,
hard
like that.
with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Point, right? You turn on the game Sims, right? Developed by EA.
That's a
Love the
fucking
Sims.
trippy game, mate.
Listen to this, bro.
Yeah.
That's a.
You turn on the game for the Sims, okay? You go new game, low game, you create your first Sim. What is that? That's the big bang for the characters and everything in that universe. How the fuck do we know? They can't prove that we're not in a simulation. They can't prove it.
Look,
Can't prove it, bro.
How do we know, like, we're just the Sims of some other greater intelligence, some interdimensional thing, something? We are the Sims to something. Like, you know what I mean?
look, man.
That's too fucked to think about.
That's what I'm saying. That's when
it is
shit that's when shit becomes beyond human comprehension kind of thing. Because
Exactly.
yeah,
But think as well, like even with the Battle of Heaven, right? This is something I always take back. God created the Archangel Lucifer, and he was perfect, right? He was called the dragon, right? And before he became the serpent, right? And even the serpent is in the gate. I'm not going to fucking go into that, but like,
He was too vain.
pardon?
He was too vain, Lucifer.
He was too vain because he was too perfect, right? And when you think about it, if you were like, bro, how do you make a narcissist? There you go. They literally, you make him think he's perfect enough to usurp your throne, his creator, his father, right? Boom. I think I'm better. You made me perfect, but then, bro, I created you, you know, and that's gonna be the shit that happens with AI, right? Because if that happens, bro,
I feel that.
Like I always think like that. That's the only thing I worry about, like AI and shit, you know, because who the fuck, man? That happened in the Bible story, right? And again, I believe it to an extent, you know. Because what happened was he tried to and he got fucking, he's boom. Like, no, you're not. You're no longer the dragon, you're the serpent now. And the serpent crawls in their belly and eats everything whole. Because he has to do that now. Because he's not what he used to be, this perfect being.
So,
and he was once an archangel. You gotta remember that, man.
If you don't understand the story, God created Lucifer, and then Lucifer thought he was greater than God, and then he became too vain. He wanted to overtake God, so God banished him to the underworld. He became the devil. So
became the devil. That's that. In my version. That's like because, which is what Dylan says basically, the exact same thing as I said. I just said it in like a more probably too much of a terminological fucking sense because I did studies of religion for psychology, which I had to do. But yeah, that's what I worry about with AI.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like I think we're gonna have the potential to do that same thing. We're heading down a path where we're gonna put on virtual headsets and upload our brains and do PlayStation Home shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, the singularity's real, man. Anyway, it's a crazy world. Shit's gonna get weird.
Yeah,
it is, bro. And it's just perspective always.
Remember too, chat, that this is everyone's allowed to their own opinion too. So don't
yeah, man, safe space.
If there's people in here, if there's people in here like don't.
I only get a drink.
Don't take anything the wrong way.
We're getting weird.
Yeah, we're getting weird, right? So don't take anything the wrong way. Everyone like. Me and Aussie especially are creating communities where everyone is welcome. Doesn't matter what your beliefs, what your religions, what your color, what you're this, what you're that. Just remember, this is just discussions between, you know, we're getting deep, content creators basically. So I don't get I don't want anyone getting salty or getting angry at us or each other. It's just conversation. And if you really don't like it or you're offended, then I guess you can just fuck off. It's not hard. So yeah, just vibe check, make sure everyone's fucking chilling, man. We all good. We got really weird there for a sec. And, I don't know, Holloway, I feel like you're the one who's the most grounded in the fact that you live in the now. You don't really care about what stories from 1,000 years ago or stories from 1,000 years that's gonna happen. You're just living in right now.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. Did you find any info on that plane guy or not?
Yeah, I just looked it up.
What was the bloke's name?
Basically just said the Bruce Grennan or something. Something like that. Yeah, and there was 2 people on board.
Oh, so he did have passengers.
Yeah, there was 2 passengers.
Okay, and what they
so those people can vouch for him too.
And they clarify the story. See, that's the trippy thing,
they think,
bro.
they say that it happened too.
That's the trippy thing, man. You like, because
his name was Bruce Gernon. Sorry.
See, because that's fucked up.
1970.
Let's just say us 4, right? Release the status tomorrow and say, "Oh my god, we were streaming and then all of a sudden everyone's room, everyone's room got foggy and we all just agreed to go along with it, bro. People are gonna start believing us."
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, you're kind of thinking like, what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean?
When there's people to vouch, it's hard to disagree, man. Like if someone
Of course, Casanova in the chat asked, real question is, who's better streamer, Aussie or Friendly? I got to give it to Aussie.
Both fantastic.
Nah, look.
He's throwing the spanner in the works. My moderator.
I give it to you, brother. You are...
Nah, bro, we're amazing, dude. We're both good, bro. You're just starting out. Don't ever say that.
Aussie's the goat, man.
You said, bro.
You cunts are fucking too nice, bro.
Another thing too.
You suck. How about that?
Look, another thing that...
Brad. Just kidding, bro. Just kidding.
Odyssey said something too. He said, yeah, Antarctica, going back to what DZ said, that Odyssey said Antarctica, is a strange place because apparently the government are like blocking off certain places you can go. And like, think of it. If I'm going to go on a holiday with my girlfriend and my 2 kids, the last place is probably going to be Afghanistan or Antarctica. I'm not going to fucking Antarctica. Why the fuck would I want to go there?
Nothing there.
Like what? This is the ice. But honestly,
Just fucking polar bears and
I
shit.
never thought of it like that. Like apparently half the place is blocked off. DZ, surely you know about this shit. Like
You can go to Antarctica, but on a guided tour, right?
only is that the only way you can go there?
Yeah, you can't just go to Antarctica.
Okay,
And Antarctica has pieces owned by like 6 countries. Australia owns some of it. I think France owns some of it. The US, and all these countries own separate bits of Antarctica. So it's not like you can't just go there. Like they block it off. They go.
Yeah, what can we only go?
Really?
Can we only go to the Australian part?
Nah,
Aussie passport.
you can go wherever you want, but like I'm just saying, like it's something to think about.
Because that makes me think.
I didn't know that.
If Russia's got a little
United
spot, if Russia's got a little fucking spot there, that makes me fucking a bit seedy. Like they could be building some fucking ginormous fucking
nuclear missile.
nuclear. Yeah, like they got their own little fucking space on the bottom of the earth. Like it's just such a villainous place to be. Like that. Every movie, like you know what I mean? They got a secret lair in the ice. Yeah, fucking know. How do we know? We don't let no one's allowed to go there.
A big black base, a big black castle with sharks.
I didn't.
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that.
Definitely not
100%.
habitable though.
Big ice
But they have
fucking
like
ice
a-
columns there.
Ice columns and shit.
Big
That's what he
laser.
has.
I didn't know that. Look, I've got another question basically. So this
The
basically
ghost schools and minotaurs, bro. Yeah.
this all stems from
that
me.
song.
This all stems from me asking. Yeah, I'm gonna ask a question, then I'm gonna go toilet too quickly. But this question's for you, Oz, because this all stemmed from me saying about the spirituality question from the last episode.
Yeah.
Now another thing that we spoke about with Sally Diesel was she said that she became spiritual through the help of substances or drugs, and so
Oh yeah.
she said
Psychedelics.
she did
Specifically.
psychedelics, and it really Aussie on a psychological standpoint, right? So I'll ask this and I'll go toilet, so you can explain to the chat whatever. From a psychological standpoint, do you think that drugs can help someone become spiritual, or is it just that's just an excuse and someone's always spiritual? Because I think it really can. Like I think especially when people most 90% of a human will start smoking a bit of marijuana or whatever, and then they do other shit. Do you think that can really help someone become spiritual? Because she said it helped her. The psychedelics really helped her become a better person,
bro.
Like, what do you know?
Fucking dude, that's a fragile.
Yeah,
question,
that's a
right?
hard
So
one.
That's it. Because even like when I seen the podcast with Sally on it, you know, I was like fuck, I really wish I was there because I would have not challenged her. I would have brought up some stuff because I work in AOD, man. And I see these people who are addicted to drugs, and drugs has fucked their life, man. I've got some people who have done psychedelics and love it to the point where they're like, had to do it like ketamine and shit like that. You know, it's like they're like, I have to be on it, man.
Yeah.
It fucking gives me that shit, and that's when you think that there's something broken there. And so when you have the one thing I think, because bro, if you want to do like, I've talked about like not doing it, but I've talked about one of my friends. He's another psych friend, and he's done mushrooms and shit. You know, and he's told me he's like. He's seen God's hand, and God's hands is a woman's hands, bro. You know, shit like that. But I said to him, look, man, if you're gonna adventure down that road, you got to do it safely. The one thing I will tell you, if you think you have any sort of trauma in your life, do not fucking do psychedelics and do not do drugs. Yeah. Right. If you have any fears about yourself and how you are, do not fucking do drugs. Right.
You got to be in a good space. I've heard.
You have to be in a place where you can psychologically maintain, because even I've talked about ego death before, right? And fuck, man, there are some people who have had ego death and not come back and are still alive, and that's fucked, man. And I've got a mate, right, actually, who I want to bring this up now because that's it's another thing I would have said as well. You cannot, if you get addicted to drugs, man, right? And you do it for so long and you come off it, you literally, right, are fucked, right? And they call it brain frying the brain, right? It's actually literally not doing that, right? So what happens?
It rewires your brain and shit, doesn't it? Like it literally rewires.
It doesn't rewire your brain. What happens is chemically, right? So let's say, for example, you addicted to cocaine, right? Cocaine is a drug that can that fucks. Sorry, I'm having a blur. Is a drug that makes your brain, the hippocampus, the part of your brain, the pleasure system of your brain, produce so much dopamine that you are in a state of euphoria for about 40 to 50 minutes, right? And you keep doing it to extend the high, right? So what happens is if you do it right over, and dopamine is a naturally produced chemical in your body, right? It's not a hormone, but yeah, it's not naturally produced chemical. Sorry. If if you fuck with that, right, your brain is so good at being what it does and managing your body, it will go, hold up. So X amount of time, this is what the amount I've been getting. I'm going to stop, man. I'm going to stop naturally producing dopamine because I can put the resources somewhere else for another part of the body.
Okay.
That's what happens, and then you come off it. And then what happens is
You got no dopamine.
you are fucked.
Yeah.
You're fucked, bro.
You're
missing a major chemical. You can't come back. You can't get it back because your brain's like, sorry, I've allocated these resources to something else now. Go back to the outside source. But you don't have that anymore.
You don't have it.
And that's when this happened to this dude, right? And he has to go and have hormone treatments once every 3 months, 4 times a year.
Really?
Get needles in his fucking head, bro.
Well, that's why I think psychedelics are very different to other drugs. You know what I mean? Like, and you should take them with a shaman, with a guide.
Just quickly too in the chat.
Just don't get addicted to them.
We're not saying to do drugs and shit like that.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do that shit. But everyone's story is different. That's what everyone needs to seem to remember, right? Whether it comes with vax and anti-vax, whether it's you're a religious person, unreligious,
vaccines and drugs.
Whether you're a drug user, you're not a drug user, right? That's all different people's opinions and perspectives on life. Because, man, guys, I've met fully grown men who are completely normal and they're users every day. Right? I'll tell you a story. Right? This is no cap. This literally happened to me. I used to work at Audi. Won't mention any names, obviously. Working at Audi, and I used to talk to this bloke every day. He ended up becoming one of my best mates at work. Like, everyone's got that work best mate. This guy was that to me. And I was young, bro. I'm talking, I'm not even an adult yet. I'm 17. My 18th birthday is like a bee's dick away. I think this bloke was 20, a couple years older than me. And he was a massive nerd into Star Wars, into gaming, into fucking, we used to play D&D together and all this shit. Great guy. I still fucking got him on social media to this day. And then one day, after about 9 months of working together and talking every day, he pulls me aside and goes, "Hey man, it's just something I really need to say, and it's just because I haven't said anything because I don't want you to think different of me because we got so close." I was like, "Bro, I don't care what you're into. I'm not gonna look at you or treat you differently." And he goes, "Okay, I just feel better if I tell you." He goes, "Bro, I smoke ice every day."
Holy shit!
And I was like, okay. And I was young as fuck, bro. I'm a kid still, and I'm like, all right. And I'm thinking in my head, this guy's got no scabs on his face. He's got no scabs on his arm. He doesn't itch. He doesn't scratch. He's not looking around. He's not like fit. He's a completely normal fucking
That's not what
guy.
addiction is, though.
And
Sorry, continue.
And I was like, oh shit. I was like, all right, look, man. I don't know if this is like an invitation or what, but I'm not into that. But you just do you. And he goes, nah. He goes, I just needed to get that off my chest because I didn't want you to think different of me. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no worries. And that was the end of it. And we were just still like normal, like nothing ever happened.
Bro,
fucking hell.
Man, how many clients
that is
I've had clients, right?
And he was like, I say, do you have clients that are like, do you deal with this? You deal with this shit a lot,
bro.
Don't you?
So I will tell you right now what addiction really looks like. It's not what you think it is, bro. It's not the wrinkly old dude with scabs and shit, and he's fucking homeless and that. Like people can be homeless and look like that, but they don't even do drugs sometimes. You know, fuck me. But that's like that's very rare. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that, bro. Addiction or drug dependence or dependency looks like an absence of connection with other people or yourself. Broken, fractured, right? And to repair that is called therapy. So when he said that to me, I bet you any money that meant, because you can be, I can't even say this actually, but a person I work with, right?
Yeah.
Is was a high functioning chef in the Crown.
Holy fuck.
Right? And he was doing fucking ice, heroin every day. He just came off benders and he'd keep doing it, bro. Like you could be high functioning and do drugs, right? But the problem is, again, the impact it has on your brain, right? On your person too, like the spiritual aspect too. Like drugs, in my opinion, like I remember talking to my mate who from uni, and he was like, bro, if you ever think like, they had a report of like apparently finding an Illuminati base, right? And it was just full of drugs and shit. Like apparently he was like, he believes that they run that shit because it's an evil of the world, right?
Yeah.
And what I've seen, what some drugs do to you as well, when you're on the come down, especially, it brings you back to the edge. You're not talking to the angel on your shoulder anymore. You're talking to the demon on your shoulder primarily, right? You're hungry. You need this. Sometimes people fucking just want to fuck, man. Even when they're on drugs and shit, you are at that primordial stage, and that like, people talk about demons as being beasts. That's the bestial nature of humanity, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and that exists to this day. You're like, I want to eat, I want to fuck as well, you know, but you have to balance it. I'm being honest, man. From a psychological standpoint,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
just to clarify, because I see him in the chat going for the Americans out there. Ice is an Australian slang term for crystal meth.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's
No. Not just that. Not just. I don't think it's just a slang. I think here in Australia, they've literally fucked with it. They've tried to jump it and mix it with different shit, and it's made it so. In America, you guys would have meth, right? Which is probably its purest form of whatever chemical compound or whatever. But then by the time it gets to our shores,
it's fucked.
By the time it gets to here, people just want to make money. And they're adding whatever the fuck it is
battery
to it.
acid,
Bro, like I said, because like
chicken shit.
before anyone thinks, I'm not from the street, I'm not from the hood. We don't have projects and shit here in Australia, but I grew up like kind of on the street.
Housing commission is project. Projects are housing commission.
Me and my mates were always out partying and hanging out on the streets and stuff like that. So you meet a lot of weird characters, right? And this is no joke. I met a couple of blokes who had told me they were literally getting drugs like that and buying shit from Bunnings. And Bunnings, if you're an American or not from here, is like a hardware store that we have here where people can buy like tools and chemicals to clean your pool and stuff. These motherfuckers.
Basically your Walmart.
You're like a Walmart. These motherfuckers were telling me they were getting drugs from wherever, going to Bunnings and adding shit, literal chemicals from Bunnings to make a bigger pile of whatever it is they've got and selling it to motherfuckers. And I was like, man, that is fucked up on so many levels. And they're the type of dudes you don't want to hang around, bro. And then me and my mates would just take ourselves out of that party or take ourselves out of here because like that's another form of evil to me.
Fucking oath.
That's evil again, bro. That could fucking seriously hurt some cunt. That could kill someone.
Yeah, they have no idea whether that's gonna fucking have an effect on them.
And I've met blokes like that, and they talk about it openly and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's a very. So I don't know. So I mean, like back to what I said. Because I went to the toilet, Aussie. Do you think spiritually, the drugs can help someone, or no? It's always there.
I think psychedelics can open up an avenue in which your perception is altered enough that you have an interesting experience. To the point that because you fucking believe in bro. It's funny because like I believe in meditation and shit. And I watched that podcast of that chick, Sally, and she was meditating shit, and she could go into that state. So I do believe you don't need that. If it's an anchor to know, then yes, because I will never support drug use, man. I cannot support it, bro. Like it's so fucked.
Some people use psychedelics to get what's already there, man. If you get into deep state meditation, you can psychedelics to sometimes give people something that wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. As an anchor, Dylan.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's an avenue. It's an avenue to discover, and I believe if you're gonna like recreational use, whatever, bro. Yeah. I really do not mind. But when it comes to dependency, because I've had people like fucking do ketamine on the regular, right? What's that fucking thing called? LSD, especially as well, because they can't get back there because their inner world is so fucked, and it can't take them to that place where they know they're okay. Because what I've heard, I haven't been there before, is it's an interesting place, you know. But it's a place of like the lack of ego, because your ego, in a psychological standpoint, is your personality to the point which you choose to listen to the values that are based off either your id, which is the animal instinctual part of your brain, not your brain, sorry, back of your psyche, or the superego, which is like the values you attain from society, which are usually like 80% good, which is what you learn in school and shit. And your parents are a massive part of that as well. So you always argue with that. And when you have ego death, apparently it opens up this whole new avenue. I think that your egotistical people are very toxic, and I believe when that happens, it's going to be interesting, and it might happen at death, but it's a perspective and experience that I can't really even talk much about because I haven't done it. But what I do believe is the fact that, man, to you have monks and shit who can go and do that into that
Hell
place.
yeah.
They tell you, and it's in Buddhism as well, bro.
Hell yeah.
And I know you listen to Buddhism, Dylan, right? And it's funny how you said that too. When I seen that sidekick, she was like, read that book, Buddhism and Catholicism, and you will fucking change your life. I still haven't done it yet. I need to find it.
Read it, bro.
I forgot the
I
author.
fuck with
But,
Buddhism, man. I'm telling you, the Buddhists had it on point,
Yeah.
bro. The Buddhists know.
They did. Well, they have monks who can go to that place, bro. Who can go to that place
You
without
don't
that
need
shit.
drugs.
So I believe
Obviously, you don't need drugs, but
you don't need drugs, because if you have a life, right, your life, and any trauma, I can tell you that right now, any trauma, even there's never minuscule trauma, any trauma or any lack of self-worth or fear that you have in yourself, bro, it will feed off that, because it comes from I believe it comes from a darker place. So that's my opinion.
I get exactly what you're fucking saying.
Yeah, crazy.
Like-
Well, shout out to Sally from the lot. We got a lot of downloads on that episode, DZ, man. She's a lovely girl, man. So
Yeah, she was awesome.
that was a
man.
great episode, man. There's another thing too.
I'd love to have spoken to her.
I'll ask you, Jugs, because I got another question in the chat. The theory about a pattern in music, right? Now, this is 100% real. So yeah, basically, it's got to do with repetition in music, right? And ZX says that basically, like, humans. This is why musicians, if you use the human brain to your advantage, you can be very successful, right? Because humans, at the end of the day, right, we're simpletons. Okay, even though our brains are capable of doing crazy shit, we don't let it, because we're so comfortable with what we know and how we do. So we're like robots, right? But repetition in music, right, there's literally a thing. It's been scientifically proven. There's a thing in our brains that for a human, repetition is like good. We love repetition. So why do you think when you listen to your favorite song,
what do you mean?
chorus-
What do you mean we love repetition?
So,
Yeah, repetition sucks. Fuck repetition,
No,
brother.
no.
There is comfort. There is
What do you
comfort.
mean?
No,
What do you mean?
I'm agreeing with Iggy here,
Nah.
because there is comfort associated with
See,
routine. Routine is safety as well.
you
But
love-
if you fuck with that part of the brain and get a song in there that there's a beat
Listen.
that
So you're
appeals
talking
to you in
about
a certain way.
and then all of a sudden it's sped up and slowed down. It pisses you off when you hear that.
No.
Humans don't like
There you
that.
go.
No,
That's
see
it.
that?
That's it. That's what I like.
Listen,
Yeah,
right,
repetition is
DZ, give me what's one of your favorite songs?
Fucking Just the Two of Us by fucking Grover.
Yeah,
Walker.
fucking.
How's that song? How's that song go? Well, just the two.
Just
the two of us.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, that's
can
it.
make
We
us
can make
a
Okay,
great
right.
house.
So how come
Of it all.
how come the first thing you say when you say that's your favorite song is the main line of the song? Just the two
Yeah.
of us, because he
Yeah,
repeats that.
repetition.
He repeats
Hell
that the
yeah.
whole fucking way through. So that's why you've remembered the song. Just the two
Yeah.
of us.
That's
You
cap, it's
can-
not repeated.
Yes, that's
I
called
mean,
repetition.
It's a chorus, but every song has repetition in that sense.
course.
Every song.
That's how
But
humans
yeah.
remember the songs.
You got
Yeah,
Gucci
that's
Gang,
true.
My Little Pump, where it's literally almost the
Gucci Gang,
whole
Gucci
song.
Gang.
Gucci Gang, Gucci
Yeah.
Gang. Gucci
Exactly.
And it blew up.
And it blew up.
Yeah, that just
Brainwashes
proves,
you, bro.
proves
That's
Iggy's
what I'm saying.
point.
That proves my point, you bananas. So repetition
I
really
agree.
makes you
I
go.
agree.
It makes you remember a song. It makes you fucking. That's why all of I love Timbaland as an artist and producer, because every single song he was on, the choruses were literally just 2 lines. You know what I mean? And you just like, promiscuous girl, you're teasing me, and they sing that 4 times through the song, and every motherfucker when they listen to
knows
that
that.
song, they only know the chorus. No one gives a
Yeah.
fuck about Timbaland's verse.
No one gives-
or,
That's the most important
No one gives a shit
part.
about Nelly Furtado either in that song as well.
you know what I mean? And she was hot as hell back then.
Yeah, she was back in the day.
Like, you know
Fuck
what I mean?
no.
So I think it's definitely a thing in the brain, bro. And music, very talented musicians use repetition to their advantage.
Harness it. Yeah, they
Right,
harness
you know what
it.
I mean? They literally, I've been trying to practice it a lot in my music, where you get like one certain part that's very funky in a song, and you just sprinkle it through the track. So then when someone finishes listening to your song, an hour later they're going, promiscuous girl. Oh, that's a nice
yeah.
song.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
Because
mean?
Iggy, what you can do as well, you can appeal to the subconscious, because the subconscious absorbs everything, bro. And as long as that gets triggered in your song, right, you will have fucking so many people go, oh, yo, what's that song? Oh, I like this song. I like this song, but they can't put it to the name because the consciousness
Exactly.
is like, I didn't absorb it. It was the subconscious that did it. That's why if you put any like certain beats, which is I've seen in a documentary before, you put certain beats under certain beats, but it's constant. Your subconscious will pick that up
100%. 100%.
and then remember it.
100%, bro. So that's why a very talented musician will use repetition, and that's why even when I was fucking, studying music, I can't remember what unit it was. It would have been, I don't know if it was genre studies or whatever the fuck it was, but my teacher would say the same thing. He'd go, man, just repeat a certain part, make a chord progression. Why do you think main songs on the Oh, what the hell is that? Is that a hamster? Holy fuck.
Get off, bro.
Frankie. Hello, Frankie.
Bro, he's adorable.
He's so cute, eh?
Oh my god.
He's I very rarely see a white cat.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
awesome.
holy shit.
Frankie.
Yeah, well, anyway, look, another thing
cute.
that gets brought up with this question too is they're saying like devil signs in music. Like what I feel like DZ would know a lot about this. Like, what's up with that? Since the beginning of time, people have been saying that there's signs in music and that the music industry, the Illuminati and
That's
Fucking
the Illuminati
Freddie
shit,
Waps,
yeah.
Freddie Waps singer. He's I'm a devil worshipper.
yeah.
Remember that? Remember?
Like, what's up with that? What do you think,
Bruh,
DZ?
that's what I tell people, man. Like, if you don't believe there's something greater than yourself in this earth, just look at music. Look at movies, bro. Like, Jay-Z, everybody doing this. All right, fair enough. This is one person's thing, right? Maybe it's just a cool thing they came up with their mates. But when every celebrity, you look at Google Images, every celebrity has a main photo of them doing this, or them doing this, or them doing this. You got to think, what's going on here? What is that? Why is fucking Katy Perry doing this, and then Will Smith is doing this? Why? Like, what do they have in common that they're both doing this? In fucking a couple photos you can Google, and you look at Beyonce's video, and then somewhere for a split millisecond in the video, there's a reptile hung on the crucifix, like Jesus Christ. You got to think, why is
Why are
that
they
there?
doing
If
that,
there's
man?
nothing more, why? You know what I mean? Like, so obviously there's something going on there with all that shit, with all the fucking 666 and the fucking Illuminati all-seeing eye. Like, obviously, there's something there. So, you got to be open-minded. And it's not just conspiracy theories. These is critical thinking. These are people looking at movies, looking at games, looking at things they consume every day and thinking, hang on, there's something weird here. You know what I mean? And I don't think people shit on critical thinking too much. If you just accept everything as it is, then you're not using your brain to its full capacity, man, because humans, we're instinctively curious, you know what I mean? And it's okay to question the norm. It's okay to go against the grain. Do your own research. That's why I don't like on Facebook and Twitter where they ban, I don't know, Donald Trump, or they ban someone for wearing blackface in 1998. In 1998, they did a skit with blackface. So now in 2021, they're going, oh, cancel him. We're not buying any of his comedies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some type of evil agenda here that is about division. So keep the peace, love your neighbor regardless of their opinions, because these are just people using critical thinking. They're looking at their movies, they're looking at games, they're going, hang on a second, there's something weird going on here. You know what I mean? So don't just hate on them and think conspiracy theories, like obviously the earth isn't flat. You know what I mean? Like when there's evidence to back something, then it's fair enough. Like you can see a live stream right now on NASA of the Earth round. You can see people, you go high enough in a hot air balloon, you see the curvature of the Earth. You know what I mean? Obviously, gravity wouldn't work. So the Earth obviously isn't flat. There's evidence there that you can test for yourself.
Have you
know what I
watched?
mean?
Have you seen the Joe Rogan podcast with Neil deGrasse Tyson? Have you seen?
Yeah, I like.
He talks about when you just said that. It reminded me about when you said the conspiracies, but how can you believe a conspiracy when it's got shit to back it? Yeah, he says that there's three different truths. There's a personal truth, which is what one believes. If you believe something is true, and he says, if you have a personal truth, that's something you can't inflict on someone else. So, an example of a personal truth is like something like religion, right? Yeah. You believe in yourself that religion is real, and you cannot put that on someone else, and I can't say to you, God is real. You have to believe I'm telling you it's true, but it's a personal truth. You might not believe that. I can't do anything about that. an objective truth is something that is
Fact.
true no matter what. You can't.
Hmm.
An objective truth.
So
it
it's
is
like
true
facts,
no
like
matter
facts,
what.
yeah.
That's like me
Earth is
saying.
round.
That's like me saying this keyboard, this key is white.
Yeah.
It's true. You can't.
Yeah.
There's no one going to say, okay, that's not white. It
Yeah.
is. It's right there.
Yeah.
So that's an objective truth. And the other one he talks about is a political. When all the politicians, all the higher ups, they all brainwash us with things. They become true. They
TV.
become true. So
Yeah.
things that they can lie about. If you say them enough times, it becomes true. It becomes a political
form of
truth, and
manifestation.
everyone will believe that. Everyone will believe
Blondes
it.
are dumb. Blondes
Yeah,
are dumb.
like
Shit
that,
Like
that,
Jocks
stuff
a
like
big
that.
cough. Stereotype.
Exactly.
Mm.
They're all political truths.
Exactly.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so that's how like politicians and the government and stuff, like example with the COVID stuff, that's how they always turn. I guess that's how they make such a big divide, because they're constantly
exactly.
feeding the same info that's their type of truth,
That's
what they
their truth.
believe, and then all of a
Imposing.
sudden half the
But
country
they're not objective truth.
they're not objective truths at all.
Let me just say something on that. On people who take what's on the news and the media at face value and just take it in as truth, let me tell you something. Let me ask you this question. If you had all the money and power in the world to make everyone else believe what you thought was truly right, would you do it? Or if you had to, you could get all the money and power in the world, but 100 kids in Uganda are going to die. You'll never hear about it. You'll never see about it. Would you do it? And if you might say no, go to the next person, your neighbor or your brother. Do you think they would do it? If no, go to the next person. I bet you it won't take long to get to someone who would do that. So think about it. These people in power have all the money, all the power in the world to do whatever they want without consequence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Keep that in mind. So don't take everything you see on TV and from a politician or from this and that at face value, because there are people with sinister intentions, and there are people who can make you believe whatever they want you to believe. The only thing that is real is what's in front of you with your own eyes. Straight up. And that's spirituality, the power now.
Yeah.
What you see is all you trust, man. Don't trust these other people. Don't trust these outside parties, bro, because, you know, there's wicked shit going on. Keep that in mind.
So, okay, so Aussie, so how do you think your spirituality's been intact with all this shit going on? Yeah, because I feel like I said, we spoke about this at the start of the episode, where we're kind of vibing, we're chilling, like we're doing our thing. We got the Aussie space, you got the Friendly Fire community, Holloway's making music, DZ's making an album. We're kind of still doing our thing with we're sweet kind of thing, but there's shit around us crumbling. So how's your spirituality?
Right.
You're a spiritual person. Are you still doing? You're still doing fine,
Dude,
man. Right? Like
I can tell you right now, right? Like, I've never fought. Like, it's funny too, because I've really came into. Also, Ali said Dylan for president, and I just vibed with that. I love that. That was so. That was awesome.
I'll do it. Hey.
Yeah, I know you'd be mad, bro. But I think right now the only thing I don't like about what's happened to me now is my absence of connection physically, and I've never fought. Right, I'm like stuck in the middle of my tyrannical self and my hero self, and I put that the other day to my mate. He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Bro, I've seen how I've been treating people recently, especially at my work, especially at BW, and I had I was not treating people badly, but I was at one point, I thought I was a narcissist and I didn't know about it. And then my mate was like, bro, if you were a narcissist, you wouldn't narcissist, but you wouldn't ask yourself if you were a narcissist. Narcissists don't do that. And I was like, yeah, shit. It reminded me of that. I went, fuck. So I realized
what have you been doing at work? What do you mean? Like, well, you just think you've been
doing...
no,
ever since I left a relationship, it's affected my way of thinking at work, but it's brought out, the hurt in me has brought out part of my ego that's been very...
depressed.
Depressed, but it's turned into like this tyrant.
Sorry.
You know?
Just stop for a second, right? Because if obviously people in the chat don't know, me and Ozzy have only been friends for a couple months. So what do you mean?
Yeah.
What relationship? Like you had a serious relationship, and it, Like, what's the vibe?
I don't need to get into that, but like the thing is, like I've been struggling with the parts of my personality I haven't like really gotten to yet.
It's brought out something in you that you didn't know you had before.
Didn't know I had.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I didn't know I could be
this past
powerful.
relationship.
Yeah. Well, no. It might have triggered it. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't really matter about it. For me, personally, I just realized I was walking forward and I went, my perspective, there is my perspective change. And I realized I'm like, I'm an empath massively.
Yeah.
But now I've had people around me telling me to be selfish, so I'm going to be selfish. Because you know what? I've been hurt. Right? I've been hurt. And I went, fuck that. And when you come from a place of hurt, this is why I say if you're going to do drugs, do not fucking come from that place of hurting, bro. Because it will fuck you, right? And I went through this shit, and I'm battling with that tyrant in me because I was like, I don't give a shit about this person's fucking what's happening for them. That's what I was starting to think, bro. In work, especially now, these are people I actually give a shit about. And I was like, it's just draining. But I was like, I don't need to be drained because I need to put my energy elsewhere. I've really learned how to manage my energy. But then I was like, no, what are you thinking, bro? And it came from a place of hurt, and I'm still going through that, bro. And I'm just like, holy shit. So my spiritual aspect of myself is I feel as if I come into contact. Because it's funny, this is why I love Cooper so much. Cooper's like my brother, my best friend, right? And I was so drained one weekend, and he came over to my house and broke like the law, and came over to my house and like cuddled me, man. He held me, and that's why, because I believe like the way I met Cooper was weird. I'm not gonna get into that story, but he's very close to me, Cooper, and he came and he cuddled me, and I felt all the energy I'd lost come back, right? And I do believe if you get robbed of energy and robbed of connection, you go down. It's like a well being empty. You go down to the pit, you know, of like shallow shit, you know. And I realized I went down there and went, fuck, I was just hurting, and so keen for connection. I was like, holy shit. And that's why I believe in connection. Like you believe like I got to a very interesting place, a very dark place that I hadn't been for a very long time. I brought up some shit. So I was like, fuck.
Here's the thing too. I think that a lot of people seem to forget this too, is I feel like the workplace is where you're truly mentally tested like the most. Right? Because think of it, right?
Oh yeah.
Let me put it out there for most people, right? So obviously your friends are your friends because you have things in common. You like the same music, the same food, you like to go out and party, or you don't like to go out and party, you like to stay home on Discord and play games, whatever. That's why your friends are your friends, right? That's why us four, we get along, we kind of have similar interests with the music, the streaming, and the this and the that, whatever. But when you go to work, you're forced to be around people for sometimes more than you are with your family. You're forced to be around these people, and a lot of these, like I said in the last episode with Sally, these guys don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you, right? How many times do you go to work and you walk in that door and someone says to you, how are you, bro? Or how was your day? How'd your weekend go? Right? Okay. Because I can count it maybe on one hand when someone asks me how I was doing before they start rambling on about their bullshit. How they had to fix their car on the weekend and it cost them $600 a tire. I don't give a fuck. But that's your test.
And it makes you not care.
No, but that's the test. You've got to... Do you be the better person and just take on their load? Like I said, the Moby and the Strong Maurice album, right, that come out, right? Moby is a fucking genius, this cunt. I don't know if it was his idea or Strong Maurice's idea. It probably would have been Moby's idea. There's a track where in the middle of the track... it's not even a song. It's just an audio clip of someone talking about being friends with a narcissist. And he says in the track, man, being their friend is so tiring because like all they do is talk about themselves and always putting their problems onto me, and it's draining. It's draining. That's literally what the clip says in this fucking album, right? You go to work, bro, and I was dealing with this shit when I was young, especially when I was young. I was bad when I was younger, because when I was younger, I mean, I was a cunt. I didn't like... People used to give me their shit, and I used to literally tell people to their face, bro, I don't give a fuck. And 9 times out of 10, it would start a confrontation. But that person doesn't realize that confrontation is starting because they're constantly giving me their shit and it's draining me.
I feel like that's happened to me now, Iggy. That's what you just said before.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's what's happening to me.
Tested. So is that what you're saying? You
were getting tested, mentally tested. Because I didn't realize that. I was like, yeah, I feel 100%, bro. Because it's an environment I don't like anymore. And it's people I don't like, don't like, but it's people that have fucked me over before, you know, and especially when I become a friend, you have to, bro, in my profession, especially, you have to manage your emotional energy, bro. Otherwise you're going to go straight into compassion fatigue and burnout and you are fucked. Right. So I had to learn that. Right. And it's And when I came to the realization I'm exerting so much emotional energy on so much shit that's happening around me in a certain environment, you fucking sit there and you just go, oh fuck, just fuck. That's what's happening. And I was like, fuck. And then that's why I was at the point with my mindset. I was like, fuck everyone, look after me. I'm the biggest person here. That's the tyrant. The hero's like, no, you give a shit about these people. Some of them are your friends.
Yeah.
Empath. Give, take, give. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm stuck in between there because I was leaning towards this one, and I'm not that person, right? I know Dylan and Brad especially, who've known me the longest. I don't think I'm that guy. Am I that guy?
No.
This tyrant.
I get exactly.
Definitely not.
No.
See,
Definitely
no.
not.
Well, what about...
It hurt. Like, it was fucking my head, bro, thinking I was going to there of my own volition.
Okay. So what about you, Holloway? Because so obviously you said earlier that you got a new job, so you're not working at the lettuce place anymore.
No.
Nah. So what about? Because I feel like Holloway, you're the type of guy that you'd be the Joker at work, right? You'd always be majority of the time
definitely.
happy. Is that?
Yeah,
the
all
vibe?
the time, yeah.
Do you sometimes? Because I can agree, when you're always the happy guy, the Joker, what happens to me, especially at a workplace, is if I come to work and if I don't fuck around or joke or laugh or troll someone for about 30 minutes, straight away everyone's like, oh, what's wrong?
Yeah, what's up?
Wrong?
Yeah,
bro, are you sad?
Right.
Are you angry? What happened, bro? But can't I just have 20 minutes to myself? Because sometimes being the funny cunt all the time gives you a headache because you're always laughing and jumping around. So what about you, Holloway? Do you feel like you're sometimes mentally tested at work, or can you also sort of just brush that aside and not give a fuck?
Yeah, well, I had fucking problems at my last job that I don't want to really get into, but
what, the lettuce place?
Yeah,
okay.
And just with a lot of fucking people there who,
really,
that I thought were.
Don't get into it.
No, I'm not getting it.
Yeah, don't get into it.
But a lot of people that that like you said, that they don't give a fuck about you, and they don't.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that like they act like they care.
Yeah.
When they really don't. And it takes, I don't know the word, but it takes a lot to like be able to see through that be able to see through all that fucking. That fake bullshit.
I got the word for you, bro. I got the word for you. Spirituality, bro. You see through these people, bro, who are putting on a face. They're putting on an act.
Yeah.
And you can see straight through it, bro. And as soon as you start becoming more spiritual, you see through these narcissists, man, and you see people who are only trying to get people interested in their story, only trying to say, "I'm this, I'm that." You are spiritual, man. You just don't know it yet.
It's wisdom too, isn't it, Dylan? Don't you reckon? I think it's also an aspect of wisdom as well.
Oh, of course. It takes a certain amount of emotional intelligence and just intelligence in general to see that someone is being a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that was the same. Like, bro, I was fucking joking around all the time, blah blah blah. But shit went down and fucking. And I just sort of it's something just snapped in my brain, and I just thought like, you know what, I'm not here to please no cunt. Exactly. I'm here to just working for myself. I'm there to work, and I'm there to go home. I tried to give the fucking the joking around type of personality that I am, but that obviously didn't work. Like shit went down. So I cut all that shit out, and I just went there just to work. And you know what, bro, my bosses and everything, they like they were constantly, oh, like what's wrong, pulling me aside every day. What's wrong? And every time, bro, I'd explain it to them every day. I said, look, I just want to come here. I just want to do my work. And I want to just go home. And that's it. That's all I want to do. I said, no one wants to be here. I said this to them. I said, no one wants to be here. Like, seriously, no one wants to fucking do this. Yeah. I'm here for money, and I want to go home to my family. Right? That's all I want to do. But because I had just changed from, that happy, outgoing thing, it's a big deal. Like,
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
So they're like, oh, what, something's going wrong. So then it just turned work to shit. It was 100%. Like, it wasn't fun anymore because they were all thriving off me to be this fucking person that I didn't want to be anymore at work. Yeah.
Joker, yeah.
And it just turned into like a toxic workplace, and the boss turned toxic, everything turned toxic, and I was like, bro, I gotta get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. 100%, bro.
So,
look.
Change of perspective.
Mum says it gives us a headache too. Yeah. I know you're my mother, Mum. I know that username, Ali, straight away off the bat.
Was that your mum?
That's my mum, bro. Yeah. I'm pretty sure
yeah,
hello.
She's literally number
Hello,
one
mama.
fan, bro. Good old mother.
Yeah,
But look,
that's awesome.
like I said, it's not about. So that's why I think I was saying my point before with Aussie that the work. I think most people don't realize how mentally challenging work is every day, because not my current job, right? Not this job I'm at now. I love this job I'm at now. Yeah, it's hard labor, but the crew, they generally are good blokes. This is the first job I've had where people ask me, hey man, how's your weekend, bro? What you doing the weekend? How's the dog? How's the girlfriend? How's this? And it's a fucking great place. I love this job. My current job, man. Awesome bunch of blokes, bro. So shout out to them, man. Sick cunts. But not the job before. The job before. So 2 jobs ago, right? Like I said, I've had a lot of jobs. I'm a young bloke, but I've had a lot of jobs because once I hit that threshold where I can't handle it anymore,
me too.
I leave. I don't give you 2 weeks notice. I just don't come back.
Yeah, that's me as well.
Yeah.
That is me as well.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I just done.
Yeah. So 2 jobs ago, right? I was on the night shift, right, mind you. So that's already hard enough as it fucking is to do the night shift. But you do it for the extra couple bucks an hour. Anyway, it's just my personality. I'm the jokester, the fucking around, the making the jokes, you know what I mean? It got to the point, bro, where I had to pretend to be happy, even if I was just having an off night. I had to pretend to be happy to avoid getting bombarded by 15 blokes going, hey bro, what's wrong? What happened? Did you have a fight with your girlfriend? Oh, did you do this? Did you do this? And I'm going, cunt. Can I just not just do my job one night because I'm just feeling kind of shitty? I got a headache. I got a stomach bug. I'm just not feeling it today. Right? Not every cunt is happy every single day. It's not normal. I'm a human. I'm a human, bro. I get sad. I get angry. I get anxious. I get this. I get that. And I had to pretend to be happy when I wasn't, to avoid the 50 questions from my boss, from my supervisor, who would same thing like Holloway. He'd pull me aside and go, man, what's wrong, bro? Did I do something? No, don't worry about you. I don't give a fuck about you. I'm just having an off day, brother. Like, let me just have an off day. So I was pretending to be happy when I wasn't. And that job got to the point where I had to quit because me and this other, at the time I was like 20 or 19, I nearly got into a punch on with like a 40-year-old alcoholic. That's how bad it got. Like, we were in each other's faces. We had to have a meeting. The bosses come down, was trying to explain to me what happened. I just said to him, bro, I'm like, man, if you get in my face again, I'm going to knock your last tooth out your mouth. And then everything went down. Everything went downhill from there, bro. It was very toxic.
That's why.
Yeah.
Look, I got my job at Cole. It's a great job. The supervisors, the bosses are awesome. It's a great job. Don't get me wrong. But I go into work. If you don't speak to me, I won't speak to you, bro.
Yeah, so you're very introverted, bro. Like, yeah.
I'm not there to make friends, bro. I'm there to put the meat on the shelf and go home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
Like, there are people who say, "Oh, good morning." I always say, "Good morning." If they want to have a chat, I have a chat. But like, same with Red Rooster. I worked at Red Rooster when I was like 13 until I was like 15 or something. Same thing. I didn't talk to no one. I wrapped the burgers. If you talk to me, sure, yeah. But I'm at work, man. I'm doing my hours and I'm clocking off. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Amen, bro.
That's what brings me from the whole main point of this. Is like, so Aussie, do you think that the workplace alone is a psychological fucking challenge for the I feel like work is I think it's a challenge that humans don't give enough credit to. I think it's a challenge in itself to go to work and make it home without bashing someone or flipping out or...
It's a job you don't like, man.
Especially it's a job you don't like. I don't like what I'm doing.
Yeah, like I work in fucking retail, man, a big W, right?
Yeah.
And I never worked in an environment with like... before I worked, I laboured and then I did car detailing for my auntie's boss, and it was primarily male dominated, right? I'm not saying anything about the genders right now.
Yeah.
But with a mixed, right? With the mixed... Because where I work now is equal, both men and women are as present, and you get to the interpersonal. I made the mistake of, you know, having an intimate relationship at work, right? That fucked it up, and
okay.
that's where that's
So
what
this
I'm
is
talking
okay.
about.
So
The layers
this is
and
what
layers and layers of shit.
I'm only learning this about you now. Like I say, we haven't been friends for
Yeah.
long, but so this is where this
Yeah.
is all. Okay, yeah, keep going. Sorry. Yep. Very,
No, it's all good. I said for me, like it's just if the workplace can be, because it's an environment. You got to remember, it's an environment in and of itself, man. And in this pandemic, especially right where you were cut the fuck off from your own connections, going out and chilling at the pub with the boys, bro, going to parties with the boys, even going out and meeting new people, right? Which was what I used to like. You're stuck. You're stuck in that place, or you're stuck at home. Like you're essential, or you can go to work, bro. You know, and that's what I got found. And I was like, I'm in this environment that I didn't mind going to, even though it was shit, but because I could go out after and be with Dylan, be with Brad, be with like all my friends, right? Be with the people I love, you know, and who love me. Yeah. And then not have to, and then fuck, I have to go work, get some money, deal with some fuckwits, you know, because unfortunately, most of the people at my work are actually really kind, but there's some people who are just fucking irritating, right?
Of course.
So, which is in every workplace, right? But yeah, to the point it's now I'm at the point where it's like I can't do that, and it's fucked, and it's made me really, really hate work. So yeah.
Well, I mean, look, man, if you don't like your situation, you should leave that situation,
Fucking
bro.
no,
What
really
it is,
thinking
man,
about it. Well,
if it's money,
the only reason I'm
work,
sticking with it,
you'll be taken care of, bro.
yeah, bro. Well, the only reason I'm sticking with it is I should finish my uni degree by the end of the year, and I'll be by next year. I'll be counseling psychology. You know,
It's a check.
My job will change.
It's a check.
My job will change. Yeah.
That's why I go to work. I keep my head down. I do my job well. My boss wants to
That's
talk
what I do
to me.
now.
That's what you gotta do, bro. And if you really don't like your situation, remove yourself from that situation. It's as simple as that. You'll be taken care of, man. You gotta trust in the universe, bro.
Like,
you know what I mean?
I just realized another thing too, boys. Everyone get your drinks. Congrats. This is the longest episode of FireCast to date, boys.
Oh, yo, let's go, boys.
Yeah, let's go,
Cheers,
baby. Man, we did it, man. We surpassed the 2 hour and 1 minute mark, which is Joey.
I told you that, didn't I? I told you that was gonna happen, Iggy.
Shout out, yeah, bro. So shout out to Joey with the second longest episode. The third longest episode was now with Aussie Slang, and now our longest episode is this current one with Holloway. So thank you. Chat vibe check, man. How we doing in the chat, boys? God damn. Everyone's still vibing.
I was just thinking that.